All right. Oh, so we have any public comments? Thank you very much, sir. Mary Patsy, Chicago Southland. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity to be here tonight.
Can you wait here 1 second so we can make sure that everyone can hear you?
Right. Again, my name is Mary Patchen, and I am here representing the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Jim Garrett, our president and CEO. We are here today to express our support for any sports complex or venue development along with community centers. For those of you who may not be aware, the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau represents 60 south and southwest suburbs of Chicago and serves as the official destination marketing organization to attract and host meetings, sports groups, group tours, events, and leisure visitors. As you may be aware, the sports industry is extremely competitive, and in many cases, we've been unable to provide the required indoor and or outdoor sports facilities or venues due to lack of availability or enough venues to host these larger sporting events. We've always been in support of sports complexes and community centers and venues that we cater to hosting meetings, events, and sporting tournaments. Of course, this would enhance the Chicago Southland region for not just the community, but for visitors as well. The priorities for these venues would include extended community use, hosting amateur professional sporting events such as basketball and football, but also utilizing non-peak times to host other non-traditional events like hobby shows or collector shows. And the Chicago Southland CVB, just to let everybody know, is here and ready to assist when a venue is ready as a sales and marketing arm to both the facility and to the community. The CSCVB does attend about 22 industry trade shows every year, prospecting to the meetings market, the sports market, and the tour market to bring those outside dollars into a community. So we are always encouraging sports groups and meetings and hobby niche groups to bring their state, regional, or national events to the Chicago Southland region, therefore bringing their outside dollars into a community to spend at your service stations, your restaurants, your shopping centers, and if applicable, your hotel development. We also have a strong national advertising program for all of these markets. So our outreach is on a national level to bring these outside groups in and to market to these event planners, along with a multimedia campaign, which also targets these sports groups and these hobby niche and meetings groups. All again to bring groups into the Chicago Southland, utilizing our communities and utilizing our retail, shopping, and restaurants and attractions. Thank you.
Okay. Is that it, Mary?
That's it.
Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions? Thank you so much. Business comments.
Questions that are a little bit of a concern. I'm sorry, we had a presentation on that before. Is there a reason to deny it or turn it down? Is there a reason why we're having another presentation on the same thing? Second thing, do we have a refuge? Those men. Do we have a refuge plan?
Is it better for you just to talk without the mic?
No, it's coming in and out.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Have to talk.
So, Anyway, do we have a refuge plan, state plan, for University Park? The state of Illinois is a refuge state, so I was wondering, would the refuge people, the immigrants come, said this, I would say, quite a lot of.
So I did have an initial conversation with people who sit on the board of committees in the city for the outlying areas, including the city of Chicago. So those conversations are continuing. But nothing has been decided. Everybody's coming to the table and trying to figure out what to do.
Right, because I had a conversation with someone in Washington DC about that very thing, and I found out about that, which is something, salaries, money for that, for certain amount of people that they're deploying, and I see we got quite a few, I sat on my deck the other day, and saw a house of seven. Went on another part of the Black Hawk, another group. I'm wondering, are we receiving any benefits from that
So
plan?
we are not receiving any benefits. However, private entities or people, organizations who choose to rent to those immigrants, they recently put out a law that takes effect January 1st. You cannot deny housing for them, the TPA for them to allow jobs, get jobs and temporary asylum, so to speak. So all of this is continuing to evolve, and I know there's roughly 60 immigrants here. There may be a few more that are coming.
We'll take with my time.
Okay.
I can talk to you later about that, because I can have a lot of information about that as well. Just think about this lighting. That there was a grant years ago for us to come in to give us lighting with the University Park. Instead of going out of our doing this, just to let you know, there was something in place if you like to tap rather than us paying anything out of the board. There was funding available for that. Otherwise, come up as a cost. With that said, I hope that other funding is still available. It should be, yes. You can find out. I'll give you that contact too as well. You need that. All right, thank you very much.
Mayor Covington, you said that there was a light grant for.
Yes. Con Ed told us that there were LED lights. There was a grant for the LED lights, like there were a grant to get the lights here in the town center. Same one.
The same time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ms. Cummings, who is the grantee?
Comment is a part of it. Yes.
I believe their program is just a little bit dependent, because I remember that some time ago. I don't know why we didn't take that.
Yeah, we were trying to, but you on the board, but not.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Karen Brooks Space.
Good morning. Good evening. Even though it says Karen, we're
Teamwork
speaking.
makes the dream work.
Absolutely. We're here to talk in regards to the community block club of University Park. And we are doing a vision board. There are handouts.
Yes, ma'am, please do. Well,
For the audience, there are handouts there you can get. And that was First of all, let me just read what the mission of the Community Block Club is. The mission statement is the mission of this organization, the Community Block Club, to preserve and enhance the quality of life and sense of community within the boundaries of our neighborhood in the village of University Park. We envision a neighborhood that is considered by residents and non-residents alike to be a safe and desirable place to live, and enjoy the benefits of family and friends. We will initiate and support rules and activities that strengthen bonds and encourage community empowerment among residents via working together voluntarily to maintain and increase our property values as well as benefit the greater good of our village. This is our mission statement, the purpose, okay? As you will see, we will have our first, we're trying to gather families. And this is an example of one of the, I'll show you guys first and then. For the families, oh yes, absolutely, thank you. She's a part of this.
Maybe have just a little bit of time.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, it's a vision board event to focus on the family and to bring in family to start to talk about what is our goal for our family, the children's goals for themselves, and this is a kickoff event so that later down the road, we will have several events hopefully that will maybe show the most of the student, all these type of things. So we're trying to get it so that our children have a purpose and we're not just seeing them in trouble. Right. So that's what this is about.
Anything I can do this, if things don't hesitate to ask. When I was great stuff, you had to.
But children, but we want the family unit involved in this. So, which is inclusive of children, but basically we're focused on the family.
That's a good one. And I'm sure every one of our colleagues up here consider family first before anything. Great stuff. Thank you so much. What's that date for the kickoff?
November 18th from 11 to 2 at the University Park Library. That's also University Park Library trade. So you can kill two birds with one stone.
Right now.
Come on out, shred the papers, and be involved.
Also have questions about on. You must RSVP by Friday, November 3rd to 708-476-4133.
And your raffle?
No, the raffle will be included when we do the family focus.
Where is RSVP?
Okay, all right.
Would you like me to repeat the number?
Please do.
Okay, RSVP by Friday, November 3rd to 708-476-4133. Thank you for your time.
That's it.
Just to be recognized for a second to speak about the community club. I just want to say that what I like what they are doing, I most certainly feel that when it comes to the community block club, I had the chance of some people hate when I say it, but it's unfortunate that I was a police officer for 2 decades. You can't take that away from me. And unfortunately, I know when it comes down to it, that these type of programs are good for the community. And what we did is that we established block clubs throughout Harvey, which interacts with it. What it does is build such a family to the point that I hate to say it, but you really don't have to do all the police as much as you have to do yourself. That's right. And when it comes to also the community themselves, like as far as board members, because I have seen some of our members here at their meetings, the engagement of the community is even stronger. So I do agree when you mentioned that, stuff like this being the conversation of those type of umbrellas, because it is, activity for the residents. But what I would say is the community because I did, I didn't want to cancel this trust.
She's back there.
So back there, yes, like such as the farm. They asked me for the little stage, and I feel like even to go up there, there she go. Such as the farm, just to make sure they have the farm prepared for the kids. I think last year, I can't remember which organization did, they had something up there when you cut the grass forward. So.
That was last club.
That was a block club?
Yeah, it was our artist that was not here.
Yes, so I remember that, so, you know, most things, I think, when they ask for resources, the community block club and whoever else, that, you know, because we don't have those programs now, I don't think it should be a problem for the village until we have our budget passed and sealed. I don't think it should be a problem for the village, or the village to use resources to assist them in getting certain things done. So, that's just my opinion, my 2 cents to say, you know, I'll get that grass on, I don't need this trust.
Thank you so much, trustee.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this next name is Leslie G. And I can't read the rest of it. The
That's
last name may be Barry.
That's okay, I'm already on the agenda, so you can cross me out there.
Okay, well,
Thank
thank you so much. Miss Millie. Wait, sorry. Debbie Stroud. Then Miss Millie. Come on.
Well, Mayor, when we spoke together, we were as one with Karen. My name is down there, Bobby, so I would like to speak individually.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It was just my mistake. I thought that you guys would cut that for you using that time. Ms. Greer, you're right here on this. Please come right up and state your address.
First of all, thank you for offering as a board, whatever you can do to help with the raffle. It's our first one. We accept all invitations happily, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
What my comments are for today is, I wanted to know what the total cost of to the village for the 4 car shows that we did during the month of June through September.
We're gonna get 3.
Okay, the 3. Village manager, do you know that?
I do not have those numbers offhand, but I can get those to you. You can come to my office tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. And this is a suggestion. We've done this in the past, Mayor. Because we only have 3 minutes for the public comments, I am going to suggest that we would have 5 yearly town hall meetings, 2, maybe even 3 town hall meetings during the year, so that the residents can be allowed more than 3 minutes to talk, and you can share things, or trustees can share with the residents informally.
Okay, that's good. I appreciate that, because you're supporting the thing that we've all talked about. I think it's first time that you actually, what's enough to do? 3 town hall meetings every year for 4 consecutive years, and we're continuing it on. So that's great. That's good that we bring us all together. Absolutely.
So maybe the board can decide on the first town hall meeting within the next maybe month or 2, okay?
We'll work on something. Absolutely sure.
Thank you.
Miss Debbie, your turn.
It seems that, and Bobby Greer came up and spoke on something that, I'll just have to dovetail on. My concern
with the migrants, the migration of migrants.
So, you know what, and I'm not trying to make a correction, but I just hear so many things, I think that the legal term is asylum seekers.
Asylum seekers?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be the first to use it tonight. In regards to the asylum seekers, my biggest concern, and I had a light bulb on Sunday when I was at the University Park Lions game, where they were giving tributes to those that had breast cancer, experienced someone in their family with breast cancer. And as I look around, it's the people out on the field, asylum seekers is what I view. Can't count how many, but my thought was this next year, they're going to be more and more in attendance. Just like all of the events that's coming up December 16th, the community, or even in November now, let me include that. The community block club event, the shop with the cop, the trunk of treats, Toys for Tots, the dinner basket giveaway, the library board, as far as their district, their family makeup. My biggest concern, whatever we are checking on what we can do in regards to asylum seekers, I think we need to have in place someone who can translate. I know we have it on the phones, but what do we do when they don't have a phone? Or they don't know how to operate that translation app? Fire department has bilingual. Police department has bilingual. Public works has bilingual. Employees. Library even has a bilingual on staff. I think Village Hall, I don't know if the human resource person may have that. I don't know that capability. But that's a big concern to me, just like being in Dollar General to see a family come in. They know how to shop, they know how to pay. Do we know how to communicate with each other? We're all going to be residents of this community. And another thing that Bobby had touched base on that I tried to mention in another meeting prior. If the board, during our half an hour public comments, if the board would allow us as residents to present our comments, and if and when we need responses, perhaps that can be done after that half an hour, if possible, from the board, because some people are a bit long-winded on the board. And that might take some of that half an hour from us residents. We want responses, but by the same token, if you can consider some way of tweaking our half an hour. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And you know what? I just want to say this. I like this. Look, it's great that we have a passion for our society. But the one thing that really disturbs our is that we don't take care of our own homeless veterans first. We have to take care of our own homeless population first. And I'm a humanitarian person. And they come. I don't want to communicate with you, but let's take care of our home first. This has gone on, and we're having such an immediate reaction and impact about what are we going to do with by them coming, if we can get additional money, this and another. Let's take care of our own people first, then we can go out and help somebody else. All right. So I appreciate your comments and this comments.
And by the same token, since there'll be residents after 30 days, I have my voter registration app on my phone.
And get them over, and you know
As
what?
well as the translate.
And what also was coming, they're going to be getting work permit as well. So we might
Yes.
as well get accustomed to it. As this is a college town, we might as well get accustomed to the diversity that's approaching our community and be able to expand and grow as that. Growth and development is what it's all about. So thank you so much for your comments. They're much appreciated. Thank you. Ms. Millie? Come on, Ms. Millie. Say the best for last.
Good evening, everybody. For votes on asylum seekers. I have to continue to protest against the way the village manager is hiring. That is not the practice that for the 35 years that I've lived for has happened. And there's enough people here. You have your former mayor, Mayor Covington, as well as village trustees. You know better. It is not customary. It's not in the law for you to hire up anybody without posting, putting their salary up, putting their job position out there. It's not up to you to go and get your friends and associates, okay, and bring them up here. Mayor, you talk about how I own. Talk to the village manager. How I own. Now, another person has just got hired. Another person. This is the third person within 2 months' time that you have brought up in here. You want to shake your hand? I don't know how long she's been here, but you know. She's been here, you brought her in from wherever. She don't live with you. Then you have another person that we haven't still seen. We are the taxpayers. Do you recognize us? We're the taxpayers. We pay all of you outside, including the people that you bring up in here. And even this one last person, just what, less than a week ago, that you have brought in, you have not posted it. We don't know what else salary was. Your salary wasn't even posted. Your job wasn't even posted. That is not the way we do things here at University Park. You're bringing in a whole new era of things in University Park that we don't appreciate. Want to let you know that. And Mr. Mayor, you know better.
So much, Ms. Miller.
You've been a trustee for X amount of years.
12 consecutive years.
And this is your second term. And you let me say you come up here and do anything else and screw up. There's too many people, too many trustees. You all know that. We had strong voices at one time. Now the voices are weak. We got people that build back their time, talking about, remember when? All kind of things. Other than that, you don't say a word to this new village manager that is bringing people up in here that don't even have the common decency to bring them to us and let us meet them. I have yet to meet the assistant for you, Mayor.
Oh, all you do is make no problem whatsoever.
I know what I can do. I know what I can do, and you can too. I'm talking about the residents here. I'm not going to pay tax. My little $6,000 ain't nothing. Yes, it is. Compared to what everybody else is. And it's not fair that you make this lady do this. And I don't appreciate your Miss Frazier. Stop talking for the mayor. You're not his own lawyer. You are the lawyer for the village. When you told her she is the village manager and she can hire whoever she wants. No, that's not true. Give her another transcript because it's not true. And if you don't have it, I do.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Morgan. Thank you so much.
I want to hear another question from the mayor. Don't want to hear that. I want to hear from the trustees that have been here for years. Don't give back your time now.
Mr. Morgan, let Trustee Wade, would like to respond.
Let me just say this to Ms. Morgan and to the audience. Years ago, when they got rid of Lola, they put her on administrative leave. That same night, Jonathan walked in, put a resume on the table, and was hired. I posted, but I don't know anything. Ms. Covington brought in people. Every position was not posted, and I'm gonna tell you,
Because I was there back then. And I can challenge anyone that said different. I was there. No, Tim Williams and others were not always told. And they came.
Mrs. Morgan, the question.
Let's tell the truth.
Mrs. Morgan. Mildred,
Let's tell
Mrs. Morgan, the trustee is speaking, addressing you. Please be quiet for the question out.
I'm keeping it real. There were people, and did you know they were brought in? You made the loudest noise about it. So there were people back then that got hired. Every time the library board brings in someone, Tracy doesn't always have to get votes and what have you. So you need to learn policy and procedure. And I'm sure Ms. Fraser can address it better than me.
Thank you so much, trustee. So much, trustee. Because you know what? At some point in our community, we cannot continue to look back and talk about what we used to do. And we used to do it this way. Ms. Morgan, let me just talk. I'm trying to keep civilized and complimentary as a resident. But then, well, okay, then we can. That's too bad. But I can even still learn at my age, so I'm quite sure you have the same capability. Let's not continue to put a limit on the way we look to the public regarding our community. Let us look like a minority community that's moving forward and fighting. Please stop embarrassing your community that you so-called love. Thank you.
Okay. What bothers me, Mr. Mayor, is that the very same person who stands up in the mic and say, you know everything and you yielded back that time. Well, I'm not yielding no time right now. Let me say this, Mr. Mayor. Let's be real. Before that, there was discord on the board. There were moments where Mayor Covington was called all kind of drags, black bees. Trustee McMullen and myself, when we ran, we said we were going to bring respect to the board. So if you want to make mockery of when I say I'm yielding time and put it out there on next door, I heard about it, don't care. Say my name. Because it shouldn't be good when I'm fighting you. But when I'm getting along with you, it's a problem. The thing that I have a problem with right now is that we have people here tonight that's going to do a presentation, and the first thing they're going to think, since the election, we are out of control. There is nothing out of control. This board called a special meeting. Not one time did I hear, thank God, about the golf course. Because it was good when we called a special meeting and we voted CHWU about it. But I didn't hear one damn word when that woman went up there and got the golf course going the way it should. One night, she made over $4,000. Don't shake your head, though, because damn it, I seen it. We are back on the move. So while I'm here, I'm going to continue to use Robert Rules of Order. I'm going to yield my time and I'm reserve my time when I have somebody to come up to do a presentation. My fellow colleague is correct. We didn't know about the hiring, but it's no big deal. Because, like she said, before then, everybody wanted the trustees to stay out of day-to-day operation. They want the legislators to sit to the side. If you have a problem, leave us a message. But other than that, if you can't leave us a message and you can't get along with the village manager, all I ask out of respect, don't come up in here and have the whole damn town thinking we out of control, because we're not. 4 people got in and they're doing their job. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I yield my time so we can move forward with the business of the night.
Thank you so much.
The only thing that I'm not addressing, I'm sorry. The only thing that I would like to say is, she is the village manager, and you can look up what, I'm talking from the audience. You can look up village manager's form of government and you can learn something. I would like to say that I think it's imperative that you also learn Robert's Rules of Order. This is a business meeting. There are people in this audience that blurt out like it is a football game. This is a business meeting. You are not supposed to be having just your random discussions. If there is a time and a place for public comment, we are not supposed to, when the the trustees and the mayor should not be stopping this business meeting, talking to the residents. Public comment is the only time that they should be doing that. You should not blurt out your responses, blurt out questions. This is a business meeting. They are here to conduct business. And if the audience cannot recognize that this is a business meeting and they disrupt it, I have told the mayor and the trustees they should be removed and they have a right to be removed. That is my recommendation. I think that should happen because too many times you have people in this audience that come and they see a clown show. It's a business meeting. And you guys should treat it as such. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, Sergeant Green. Sergeant Green.
I'm not going. No, I'm not. It's not going. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna listen to you, what you want to listen to.
Discussion business. Discussion items. Item 518. Discussion and review of finance lease terms by Cleo Down, President Production Distribution Company related to lighting project for municipal street lighting. Mr. Downs and the leasing team, please push the microphone, the podium.
And now for a sunbeam from Jesus. My name is Paul Gray. For 32 years, what I've been doing is helping people that help others. I lend money to municipalities. That is what I do. And I'm the largest in the country in what I do. And I'm not afraid to go places. We lend money to these far out crazy places, like Homewood, like Linwood. Most recently, we did our 25th deal with the Village of Dalton. We've done how many deals? With Mayor Bryan? Probably 2 or 3. Basically, it's a lease to own program. I worked with Cleo, I met him for the first time 6 months ago. We put in lights over at Dalton. I write a check to him, he gets a check from ComEd, and he goes to work. No down payment, no fee, no application. Well, what's our approval process? I spent 2 hours in traffic to tell you you're approved. No approval process. So the money element is done. Now, what I've done is I've put together binding commitment letters for everybody, for each one of the trustees, and they show that we'll fund up to $177,000, no questions asked, and that's good for 1 year. We specialize, we started in this business by doing radar guns, and now we're building fire stations. We're doing additions to jails. I have chiefs who keep coming back to me saying, hey, Paul, would you do fill in the blank? And I say, why not? I started as a one-man firm. It was an investment for me. I didn't retire at the age of 32 from Wall Street. I literally fell into this business. I turned it from an investment to a hobby. To now, it's a full-time business where I hire a lot of guys and gals. If you call our office right now, if you call it on the letterhead, Mayor, I wake up at 3 this morning, call that number, I guarantee you will get a living, human, breathing human being who is in Chicago or in the suburbs of Chicago and can help you immediately. And they'll know what they're talking about. I'm tired, I'm personally tired of calling Holiday Inn and saying, I want to book a room in Chicago, and they say, what state is that? And I say, how's the weather in the Philippines today? So we compete on service, service, and service. We researched you guys, we know what you're about, except for one minor element tonight, but it's water off the duck's back. You're not paying enough, by the way. And that is any questions whatsoever. It's the way we tentatively set it up, and Jermaine will get this out to you. We set it up as a 10-year. Do we have to do 10 years? No. Mayor, what do you want to do? 2 years? 15 years?
We want a good interest rate that's affordable, so we make sure.
This is 6.99.
That's for 10 years.
And that's for 10 years. You want to do 3 years? 6.99. You want to do 5 years? 6.99. Let's make like simple, folks. Let's not do more complicated things. There's so many people out there that want to, to get an email, you got to send a decode number, and then they send it back, and you got to knock twice, then you got to tell them the name of your grandmother's kitten named Mittens. I mean, it's really ridiculous. So we try to keep things as straightforward. I know I sound a little cavalier about this. I sound a bit cavalier, but I have found that fire chiefs, police chiefs, and mayors tend to be 99% honest. You always get that one out of the bunch, the little old lady in Garland, Arkansas, who took delivery of the truck, drove it to Shreveport. She pawned it, and the FBI found her on meth several days later. So I've had 3 deals go bad. That's why I can be so cavalier and so quick and so easy. I'm the person, I report to God and the IRS. You're looking at the guy that makes the decision, and I say yes. Jermaine is sending out copies of the binding lease agreement that shows that you're good for a year. We can extend that, whatever you want to do. We can do whatever we want to do as long as it's legal, please. A copy of the sample, the actual lease. We can change these terms. I mean, that's easy. That's easy. And then at the end, we've got a list of references. So that's it in a nutshell. We keep it as simple as possible.
And I think the reason that I asked because some of the trustees were concerned about this, there's not a doubt in anybody's mind that the University Park needs additional lights. I'm all for this. It's just a smart thing to do. I check, I talk to Richardson Park, Country Club Hills, Paving, Wild, just about presenting the plants. I talk to all the different mayors. And they come with the project. But my city council has to have a level of confidence and come to make the right decision. So that's why I asked there were some questions. So we can make a decision. We can move forward. So
and Mayor, you're spot on. And that's the last time in my life I'm going to interrupt you, or else I know you'll take me out of here. And you're right about the lighting. To the trustees, lighting increases crime. It's been proven. It's hard to deal drugs when you're underneath an LED street light. Number 2, they're energy efficient. Will you save more money tomorrow? Over time, you will. Yeah. And also, the LED lights I think look better than the regular old yellow lights because they make things kind of pop a little more. Camera. But I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please, any questions?
Well, they say never give me a piece or say something or remind me of the story because when it comes to crimes in lights, one time I was on 175th place and I was on patrol and I looked up and there was a kid at 2 in the morning at the top of the light post with a butcher knife. Yeah, I don't know if parents here out there remember that one. He wouldn't drop a knife, but when you mentioned that, it kind of made a flashback.
How would he go on the second, third bowl? I didn't hear about those.
So, just 2 questions that I probably would think we kind of call it. You said 5-year is
6.99.
Okay, because on your letter, you have 5.99.
Okay, I'll do 5.99. This guy's a tough negotiator there.
Yeah, I don't want to, so I did see that, so.
I'll do 5.99.
Okay, and then, she's not here, and I'm not trying to knock her, but why are you saying that Coco Bank still working with Mr. Downs? I think I seen his head in the audience. Yeah, did she get a cut or something? No, she's still on here.
No.
Ernestine Beck Coco.
No, we don't do that.
What? why we still have a name on the contract?
That could have been left over from Cleo. He was here until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, well, this is like the third or fourth time I'm just saying it. I'm just thinking that, so you know, the trustees will be looking at how we're thinking.
But no, we don't pay anyone behind their backs. That'd be just-
Okay, and she'll be the first one to say, I'm responsible for really much to this part. So I just want to make sure she's not connected in any way. But that is an area of time, I don't have any further questions. Yeah, it's just so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for just for the audience, we just real quick narrative regarding the interest rate, how it goes, the savings that we get from ComEd. Just want to share this.
Yeah, the savings from ComEd, that falls into Cleo's place. I can talk about the financing aspect all day long. Okay. Let's make the numbers really straightforward and really easy. If you bought a $10,000 piece of equipment for me, you want to finance over 3 years. And you had no credit at all, or awful credit, or just all around bad guy, which you're not, of course. We would say 9.9, which is $312 a month of interest, not a month of interest, it's about $288 to begin. It's the total principal and interest of $312. So that would pay down levelly over time. And the reason why I do that is when you're done with your 18 terms here, I don't want to hear from somebody else after you're saying, well, you know, we don't like these lights. We'd rather have these other lights, come get them. At that point, I can say, look, you're halfway through your equity in the lights, you're halfway paid down. You know, the last thing I want is to come calling in 10 years looking for a full amount all at once. I mean, it's tough to put that kind of money aside. But if you pay by month, and ideally, if you'd like to do an ACH, if you can't, we mail in checks. When you decide you want to do it, the goods are shipped. Once they're installed, we pay. You got to throw the switch and say, I'm happy. And when you get that, then we pay Cleo. I don't know how ComEd works, but the check would come direct from ComEd to you guys. And we send a letter, coupon payment book, if that's the way you want to go. It says, please acknowledge the receipt coupon payment book. Send it back to me, Paul Graver, and or send it back to one of our banks across the country, those are regional collections, in order to do one fast. So that way we know you've got the book, we've got the book, and when someone's, if you're late, I'm not the type of guy to come in with both guns drawn saying, where the hell's the money? We didn't get your August or September payment. Oh, Annabelle went on vacation and she passed away. We don't know what to do. Here, let me work this out. Let me give you everything again. So if you're ever late, you hear from me, you hear from Jermaine first. You don't get a big bad guy on the front door.
All right. Well, thank you. Got something down?
I can hear
So, the question, we asking questions in regards to, the council, just to use for the finance.
Just to make it finance.
Okay.
How the lights work and how they're installed, that's all Cleo's. I like it that way. You decide what you want. You want a fire truck? I don't care what brand it is. This way I'm not married to any one manufacturer.
If we wanted to finance, it definitely be something.
Yeah, I'm absolutely willing to finance anything.
2.9%, not 5%.
We need some happier residents first? Never.
Well, I'm just saying, it's 5.9 is still too much.
I think if you look around, the Treasury 10-year rally to a yield rally to a 4.77 today. Rates have gone up dramatically over the last 2 weeks. But take a look at the 10-year. The 2 years 10s, 2s 10s are inverted right now. So you're not going to get that. Yeah.
Really, my question was.
Yeah, if you turn on CNBC in the morning, they start at 5.
Seeing any additional quotes or pricing from any other company, not just respectively, but just saying, but in general, that's why I asked just the downs, because we just see 1%, but we have looked and seen that the pricing of the lighting could have been much less. And then we also just heard from Mayor, previous Ms. Covington stating that we can receive a grant for the LED lighting. So, I mean, I really would like for us to be able to look into those first before anything continue. That's my comments, in regards to the lighting. Because I haven't seen any other folks on the pricing of the lighting. This is just what was presented from the. So it's 7.
Grants are wonderful and should be pursued. If somebody could explain to me, please, how they are awarded, I would be amazed. I swear to God, whoever awards them, puts them in a stack of paper, throws them down the floor. I'm not sure if they work their way up or work their way in. Some people are a step above writing out their grant on a napkin, and they win it. Others use hired professionals and allegedly get a grant every time, and they don't. So what I say to you is put your men and women in a protected state zone now. Meaning, if you need a fire truck now, get it now. Because I'm planning on moving to Florida. If I live in University Park, I want to see my tax dollars work here today and now. I don't want to move to Florida to hear about the new fire truck you guys got. So if you get the grant, pay down the lease. What's the penalty? 0. Penalty is 0 to pay down the lease. So pay down the lease then if you get the grant. And I hope you get the grant because I know what you're going to do with that money. You're going to get something else. I've been doing it long enough.
I recently attended a conference in Washington, D.C. The Federal Department of Energy has $100 million in grant. I spoke to the manager about some of the resources we can take advantage of. So I'm going to take this back to Trustee Coach. We need to explore other options first. Not that your offer is not good, but we are responsible for being good stewards of our residents' money. And so we have to learn how to do it.
Yep.
And so by doing that, we have to check them out.
That's fine. I can come back in 6 months.
And you know what? We'll take the same of the board because you're on here for a vote to be up and down. But just as, and I'll let you, I'm sorry. But I sat here on a board member for 12 years as a trustee, and my experience has taught me, kick it down the can, if we did this. We used to do it this way. Well, we're not operating anymore. And everything in the past wasn't bad, everything in the future isn't good. But there has to be a time when the community transitions and starts looking toward the future and take smart investments. Say, for instance, the lights go through. We can still apply for a grant. It's not like we're going to fill up the whole light and we don't need any more lights. We need lights on our ball fields, we're expanding, we're annexing the land. So we're going to need lights all over. Myself personally, knowing how it really goes, take care of it when it's present and do what we got to do. But everybody has their own opinion. I'm just an advocate for lighting in our community. And I'm happy to kick the can down the road. So,
I want to love what you just said. We don't know if it's smart or not. We don't have one. We don't know if it's smart or not.
Well, kind of.
You do.
I mean, we do. No, but see, listen. So true, but see, I just say, as experience, I've gone around and done these things, and you know what? We have failed the community in so many other aspects by delaying and saying that we should do this. Now, the door has opportunity to open. No one went out and said that. I never knew it from anybody else. So no one else has taken the opportunity to come with a percent or approach. My first 4 years as mayor, I haven't heard anybody say this. My 12 years as a trustee, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. But as my 12 years, the mayor would do some things, and let's get something straight for the record. Don't let anybody ever tell you, get this foolish crap out of the way, that Mayor Joe Diaz will never vote against anything that's going to be good for this community. And I can put it in black and white. There's a lot of lies and alibis out. If you think that when Joe was the mayor, Joe was the trustee that he blocked this, but just for the record, if I'm not mistaken, I have multiple properties in the community. I have 15 family members in the community. I have 6 grandchildren in the school district. There's not one thing that will come out of my mouth and say no to anything that's going to improve the quality of life if I made my major investment there. And I pay over $20,000 a year in property taxes and add more to that because I believe in the growth of University Park. So that's just my opinion. So it's time to get out what we used to do. Joe was never a renegade. Joe's never been an arrogance of office. Joe's been honest and upfront, even as a trustee. And some of the hardest things that people accept is the truth. See, my predecessor say this all the time to me. She used to say, man, Negro, you never beat me because these Negroes believe a lie before they believe the truth. And that is the truth. And I yield my time. Trustee Williams.
I'm in agreement with my colleague as far as, maybe looking at others, see what they can offer. I'm all for public safety and lighting because we definitely need it. We're short police and we don't have enough safety in place. But since we keep throwing ComEd's name out here, I would like to see a representative from ComEd come out here and confirm all the information. Because, you know, we haven't heard from them. We hear their name, but we're not seeing or hearing from them. The past mayor did know.
So that's why I know a little bit about Country Hills. I know they had more lighting than us. Did you guys finance it, Cleo? Because the price that they paid was much cheaper. So when you all were at IML, I was kind of doing the homework. They had more lights, but it was cheaper with the price that they were paying a month. So I guess, was it a percentage or were they on a grant? I'm a little confused with Country Hills, Cleo.
I did not ever do country club.
You didn't? Okay, that wasn't me.
And
Yeah.
I don't do bridge loans.
Well, maybe,
I like it.
I saw Mr. Down was my answer.
Yeah.
I imagine our fine mayor here didn't run to be mayor to put numbers in boxes all day long.
Right.
He ran here to be a community man. That's clearly his strength.
Right.
And build a community and build the future. That's clearly his strength. Now, the other firms will have you put numbers in boxes all day long. And you're going to get to 120 days to maybe, I don't know. I mean, what happened with this in early 93 around here? I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to scare a lot of other people away that doesn't faze us at all. We see it every day. We have that stuff for breakfast.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it gets started. And at the end of the day, we are the fastest, easiest, and our rate, you're going to see, right? You can shop around, I'm sure, for days and days, and spend 90 days filling out paperwork and get to a no. Or, well, another week or another month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the nature of the business on being on that side of the table.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys will go to us.
No, I was here when we got the Amazon and that loan was 7%. So seeing trustees frown, that seemed to be the magic number for University Park when it comes to money and finance. So, excuse me. So yeah, no, I was trying to see, because this price, I knew that CC Hills had more light replacement, but I was just trying to figure out when it came to the price itself, like the money itself that we would be spending each month. I didn't know if it was through a grant or something. Okay, listen.
Yeah, we take the price that you.
No, the only reason Country Club Hills was because economy and rate of people paying more, and we also received some of the bonuses that over the course of weeks that I have talked to you guys about earlier that have since expired. So between the bonuses
when he was here, the one we were talking about, those bonuses
were early on, my first presentation.
Okay.
Where it was economy and bonuses they were paying. And also the rates, as far as the rate they were paying for the energy savings is high at that time. So Country Club Hills, of course, deal may have seemed cheaper, but that's only because the ComEd portion kicked in.
The incentives.
The incentive.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, they're a much larger city, but yet, they were paying way less, and I'm looking even on our 5%, on our 5.9%. I mean, even then, it was just cheaper. Last question. So pretty much your rate is based upon, I'm two, and then CSNBC watching the rate every day. That's pretty much what you're basing your rate on?
I'm basing the rate on A, I look at the character of the community.
Okay.
B, I look at creditworthiness, how much money do you have in the bank?
Okay.
C, I look at how much debt you have outstanding already.
Okay.
And D, I look at how much money do you have in the bank at this moment. Now, we set the term with how long is it good for? A new squad car in University Park can probably make it 5 years. In the city of Chicago, it can make it 48 hours.
Right.
A used squad car in University Park can probably last up to 5, maybe 5 years at most. The fire chief will tell me here, their equipment looks absolutely fantastic, but I've got guys running 20, 30-year-old trucks.
Right.
And at the end of the term, they're 45 years old. Now, here's the rub. You open the door on the inside, and you can see their odometer. And it's a 1977 where I live. And the odometer's got 16,000 miles on it. And it's taken out on the 4th of July and on Christmas Day, the break, that's it. And the occasional stuck cap.
And how many municipalities you take that?
We do one lease a day.
One lease a day for a municipality throughout the state of Illinois?
No, all over the country.
All over the country?
All over the country. That could be a fire department, police department, city or state.
Okay, because I see you have a PO box and you don't have a physical address.
My physical address is 464 Central, Unit 2, 4, 6, and 8. That's our corporate headquarters. That's in Northfield. That's one word.
Okay.
Illinois, 60093. Now, the reason for a PO box. I made a lot of mistakes in this business. That have cost me a fortune. I try not to make them again. And what happened was I used the PO box on our first shipping of radars. The guys paid off early after a year and a half. And in my PO box is in a bigger box. Well, there's a bunch of radars. Now, what am I going to do with all these radar plates?
Right.
Well, I know coach. I went down to him. By the way, we went state the 5th time in a row. I gave it to him, and I said, "I'm going to give these to you for your pictures. But God forbid, if I see one of the other teams that has one, forget it. I'm going to again."
Right.
So that's literally how I got started doing radar tests. We do it at least today. Today we did a Ford F450 pick-em-up truck with salt spreader on the back. Yesterday, what did we do?
Which town was that?
Salt Lake, Pennsylvania.
Right, nationwide. Right.
We're all over. We're all over.
Thank you so much.
If you need me back there, no problem.
Mark, good. Tell me, Mr. Good. Well, I'll put it like this. I'll give the council members any questions, Mr. Mark Good.
No, I can comment on that.
Yeah.
If I could.
Yes.
All right. So the process, I think you're getting confused a little bit with the process from the last two meetings. almost every business park I've done 1,500 1,000 acres of business park. And we have some sort of incentive program or tip or whatever. There's a process. I'd like to at least walk through the process. Many of you are new and weren't here when we originally expanded our property into TIP 5, and then we started in TIP 7. So I'd like to discuss the process. So at the last meeting, the proposal was made to consider extending TIP 7 to our property that's east of Cicero Avenue. Okay? The reason that we need that vote and what will happen is that you vote yes for each residence. And what I need is hire a consultant to try to Payne McKenna, who's been doing TIP consulting for 50 years, that firm. And they have to go out and they have to do a study, which is what we did when we started TIP 7 and when I expanded into TIP 5. And they have to do a study that says that our property would qualify to be in a TIP. And it has to meet certain criteria. That study will take 3 to 4 or 5 months to be approved. Okay? If it's not approved, we can't become an expansion of TIP 7, then we're over, we're done. We don't qualify. We have to meet certain state requirements. Okay? Assuming that the study comes back and it says we are qualified to be an expansion of TIP 7, at that moment in time, we come back to you and we say, look, if we qualify for our application to the state, we can expand TIP 7 to this property. Okay? And we spend the money to go do that, and we spend the time to go do that. At that moment in time, what would end up happening is we would create and you're turning obviously, and maybe a specialist in TIP, so we would create a redevelopment agreement that would expand our property into TIP 7. In that redevelopment agreement, we have to meet certain criteria. So that's the agreement that would state that we would have the responsibility to expand Stager Road from Cicero to Government. Okay, that in doing that, we would put up the money, and then we would be able to utilize TIP proceeds from TIP 7's existing buildings that are there to pay us back for that expansion. We would negotiate an interest rate. We would negotiate the terms. We would have bid out, and we would get the cost of that road. We bid it out and we put that cost into the agreement. Okay, that's just one part of it. The second part of the redevelopment agreement is to allow us to expand TIP 7. We have agreed that we would take this 25-acre property that we have north of Stager Road, on the north side of Stager Road that we have, that's between Cicero and Governor. And as part of that agreement, we would agree to provide that land, and you would make the decision. It's not me. It's really your building. I'm trying to do something good and say that property can be used for however you want to use it. Okay, you can allow me to sell it or give it to the people that are interested in doing the community center and sports arena there. You can use it for some other program. You can use it for open space. I've given, I don't know, probably close to 60, 70 acres over the years to use for different open space and different programs. I don't see this as any different, but that would go into the agreement. Okay, that doesn't get done unless you approve. So there would be a part of that development agreement that says this land, we identify it as an exhibit, would be utilized in this fashion. So I sent out a note to Elizabeth, to make it more of a community center. I don't want to talk about sports arena, sports center. That would be a part of it. But realistically, what that property is used for and how it's used in your community is your decision. It's not mine. It's not anybody. It's what do you want to do with that property? Do you want to use it for senior citizens to help, yoga classes? You want to be able to have a space for people to meet? You want to have an outdoor pickleball court? What do you want to do on that property? That's your decision. That's not my decision. My decision is only to provide it to you. Okay, that would be done in the development. But that development won't get done until the spring or early summer because I've got to qualify this land to be able to be part of TIP 7 through a study we have to do that has to be approved by the state. So realistically, this is just the start. What I want to do is start. I don't know where it'll finish. The state could say no. We may not come to an agreement, by the way, that's gonna be possible. We will come to an agreement. I don't care what you do, as long as you do something that's good for the community. It's not my responsibility to tell you what to do. You will make that decision, okay? What I'll tell you I'll do is I'll do state code. I'll pay for that. I use the proceeds to pay me back. I can tell you that I will work extremely hard to bring a major corporation like an Amazon or the Pacific or another riders to that property once we have it, in the community and properly zoned and fit and incentivized. That's what I'll do. But what I need is for it to start. And I know this is the third time I'm back here talking about this, but realistically, all we need to do is we have a ladder to climb. I need to get on the first step. There's 10 steps. This is the first one. You make a decision that you would like to expand TIF 7 to the east side of Sister Avenue. That gives me the opportunity to go and hire the consultant to see if I qualify. If I qualify, I come back to you and say I qualify. We can now get it into TIF 7. Let's do a development agreement. We provide a draft development agreement, all these terms in it. We give it to council, or outside council. We negotiate. If you don't agree with this in there, don't sign it. I mean, it's okay. Just don't sign it. I can't imagine why you want it, but you might have a change of heart, and at that point, you don't sign it. You don't sign it, we got nothing. I don't build stagers, we don't get the land for the community center, and we don't have a TIF, and we don't find another company to come here and hire people here in New York. But the first step of this is for you to make a decision. If you're interested in expanding TIF 7 to go east this road to go. That's the first step. Once I know that you passed that resolution, I can then hire the consultant and see whether or not we qualify. If we qualify, I come back here and say, now what do we do? We need an agreement. I have certain obligations. You really don't have any other than to come to an agreement on what we're gonna do for the community. That's it. It's very simple. So you're not agreeing to actually do this because there's no document now. There's no something you can pass. You're just saying you're interested in expanding TIF 7 east of Sister.
And when Mark, Mr. Good, so when the negotiations start, negotiations with the council. Of course.
You have several bites at this apple, and as do I. Yeah, I can't do anything without a development agreement. That development agreement is signed by the village and by me. And if you don't agree, don't sign it. I'll spend, tens of thousands of dollars on a consulting agreement doing studies and do that. That's my job. That's my business. I don't mind investing that money to try to get this to happen. I have confidence we'll get an agreement done in the future. But negotiating that agreement today is not the right thing to do because you may change your mind if you want to. You may not want it. You may want to do something else. Something else comes up. We do something else. We create a different environment. So the first step, though, is for you to give me the confidence that you're willing to expand TIF 7 for resolution, and then I will then take it from there and hire a consultant. And at some point, the next 3 or 4 months, come back to you when I have a report that says we qualify to move forward. I'll come back and say, hey, good news, we qualified to move forward. Our consultant has given us the positive report. The states agreed, and now we sit down and negotiate. And again, no one's forcing you to sign it. We have an open blank slate. That's what I really need from the council.
Mayor, I'm just gonna make a quick comment and not give my time. Someone sent me an article today that was very interesting. It was from the Shaw Local. This is more for the trustees. Our millions of dollars of TIF spending compliant with state law. And I read this, and what was crazy was University Park was in there about a mismanagement of the TIF and how we use our TIF and why are we using the TIF the way we have been. And it also exposed that University Park, like I said, in 2011, University Park TIP reported $1.7 million expense for study, for cost of study, administration and professional services. In saying that, I'm glad that Mr. Good is coming to this board. And he has been trying to get us to cross over west right behind Carpine. I'll just say from Trustee Brooks' point of view, I have spoken to Mr. Good. He has spoken about commercial, one of those corners. He spoke to other trustees and, you know, that's their, you know, they're gonna reserve their thoughts. But at the end of the day, the key thing with me is not just a sports recreation center, but we gotta have some hotels, commercial at north end of town. What happened with Carpine, that was a lot of land that was taken up. That space was supposed to be for commercial development, and it would make my decision even better if that was done commercial development. Mr. Good came in and his land came right behind it. I wouldn't mind if it comes in there. But the main concern is that the residents, I can tell you, and as well as my household, my wife is tired of driving to Matt's to shop for food. I know that we're supposed to be bringing a truck stop in a restaurant on the other side of where Mr. Good's Tip comes down there on the corner of University Parkway and Central. The key thing is that we want to make sure we're making the right decisions. And I know I listen to my colleagues and they have great points. All of us want to see the good come out of TIP 7 promise. But I think a lot of us want to start hearing commercial development and so forth and so forth. So that article kind of sparked my interest on how we handle our TIPs. And it was just embarrassing to see the University Park, a predominantly African-American town, be in the forefront of that article. I think things will change. I think the people who make the noise, it's a handful of them, because they've been peaceful ever since the mayor hit the gavel. So the decisions we need to make, let's make sure we're making decisions for that north end of town that's for the best for University Park. And from Trustee Brooks' perspective, one, I want us to find out more about our TIP 7 and what we have going on over there. And number two, like some of my colleagues, the word commercial is important on that north end of town because Carvana took what was supposed to be commercial to us and the rest of the residents. Mr. Mayor, give my time.
Can I answer? Can I respond?
Sure.
Okay, so for those of you who remember, I handed out to all of you individually our land plan, which I have a copy for, but I know you won't see. We control the northeast corner of Stager and Cicero, okay? It's in 10 acres, 15 acres, okay? We will commit that will be commercial. Let me explain my perspective. My industrial developments do better when there's commercial next to it, okay? Now, I can't guarantee that we'll have a hotel, but I can guarantee you that I will zone it commercial, and it will include shopping, restaurants, hotels, and those activities in my development agreement with you when it's passed. It won't be industrial, it'll be commercial. Okay, I can guarantee that because I'm committing to you today to do that because that's better for the community as a whole. Okay, the land that sits behind, if you know the old airport there, my land sits, basically behind on the south side of Stager. The land sits behind, it's a river and a wetland area, you can't build that anyway. That land that doesn't front on Cicero is on the south side of Stager where we put some, maybe 1.5 million to 2 million square feet industrial, similar to what we did Friars and Amazon. Okay, that land doesn't have any frontage on Cicero, it's not good for Okay, the land on the southeast corner of Stager and Cicero is owned by an individual, you know, Alan Silverman, or SNS Theaters. He owns that property. I will talk to him about making that retail or commercial as part of our overall plan, but I can't do it for you. You can zone it however you want to zone it, right? I can't do that. So you can make it commercial if you want. He has to live with this. I mean, you know, you can fight it and do whatever else, but the logic is it's better. If Stager goes all the way through to Governors, from a real estate perspective, that corner should be commercial. That east side of Cicero should be commercial. And he has a thin piece of land there. On one side it's Cicero, on the other side it's a wetlands. So that little piece would make a nice strip center and be a great commercial site. I can talk to him and let him know that that's what we're thinking. And I think it would be logical to do that. So in the development agreement that we could do in 3 or 4 or 5 months, we would have a development agreement that would lay out all the properties. We would do a land plan, and we would say this would be zoned commercial, this would be zoned commercial, this would be industrial, and on the north side of Stager, you know, that would be the area to be designated for, you know, some sort of community center or some sort of, you know, public interest thing. Whether, you know, obviously there's some people interested here tonight that are interested in doing that, and I would support that, but I also would support whatever the village wants to do. And it's my commitment, and I've never walked back on that. I will say something about TIF stuff. My job is not to manage TIF proceeds properly for the village. The village has to do it. Okay? Every transaction I do, most all my transactions include TIF. The state of Illinois publishes what are eligible costs that could be included in the TIF. We list those in our agreement when we do a development. And when we have a project, we come to you and say, here's a project, or the writers and say, these are the specific items in this project that are eligible costs according to the state law. We list them as estimated. When the job is completed, we have real costs for those line items. We submit those to the village for your approval, and you have to sign off on it. That's the way we work. We have never had an issue. And I think we can help you in understanding that. And we can work with the village manager on the writers. We're just now going through that process. So that's how we work. And we, more than you, don't want to screw up because I have tips everywhere. And if I lose my reputation, I lose my opportunity forward. So again, you control. All I'm asking for is to give me the opportunity to do the study, to see whether or not I can pull this off and do this, and we can qualify to get into TIF 7, and then we come back in 3 or 4 months and try to put an agreement together. That's what I'm looking for today. And if you can give that to me, I'll spend it and see if I can follow. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention, my suggestion was we do some further presentation. But my perspective to the board, from the trustees in there, is that I think that I wouldn't want industrial to cross over Cicero on the east side. I'm good with commercial and other stuff, but to have the industrial buildings go crossover, I think that we should keep it over to the west side and all the rest of the industrial buildings instead of adding additional work. TIF 5, still have space for building that can go into TIF 5.
TIF 7.
TIF 7, that's what we're in the first project. We already have another. Right now, as a board, we have to really look at what's going on with our strategic plan and capital-wise, because TIF 5 is supposed to be covered. We need to really know exactly what's going to happen with those industrial buildings owners right then. We already hear that there's a possibility of one that's already coming up. So I think overall, we need to figure out what is our plan, what is our strategy. Do we want to continue to have industrial buildings going further and further to our community, or should it stay over into one section? Cicero Avenue, we have Cicero Avenue, west side is all industrial buildings and companies.
I like
on the right hand side, But we have, the west side, that's what Mr. So on the west side, we got the Carolina, which that's something that majority of us agree should not pay that way. But do we want to have more industrial buildings, right? To me, I'm for commercial, I'm for hotels, I'm for other things, but industrial buildings, I am not for.
Yeah, I can comment on that specifically because I think, okay, the land that we own over 250 acres of land, okay? That's as much as all of Fifth Seven currently, okay? The land that's fronting on Cicero Avenue makes sense to be commercial. Behind that land, on the south side of State, is a wetlands. It's a natural divider. It's a stream, okay? That impedes crossing. I can't, it's the Corps of Engineers. I can't do it, okay? That, behind that, I have about 125 acres that you've seen the plans that sits there on the south side of the state. It will never be commercial. Never, ever be commercial. I will never get the commercial use to go. It's a big site. It's 100 acres. It's not a strip center. It would be a site. And I don't see any major mall running from the south east of Cicero Avenue not having front. So that's that. And I'll sit here forever. If you're not going to zone it industrial, I'll just not. Be honest with you, because that's the use that it deserves. I'll build a brand new road. It'll be a truck route from Cicero to Governors. It'll be a 3-lane road for you to have the transportation. I will agree that on the corner of Cicero and Stager, there's a new light being built right now. We will commercial. I will agree that on the north side of Stager, I'll take that site of 26 acres, which is 26 things for almost 1 million square feet of land, and let the village work together to decide what we want to do in that land, and I will charge it. Okay? Because I want to develop my industrial buildings here. That's what I prefer. But it will never be. You may think it could be retail, but you can talk to any retail broker, any professional you want, that will never be. But on Cicero and Stager, at that corner, that should be a retail site. You got a brand new light coming in. They'll have a road going from Governors there. There'll be traffic going into the park. People will go for commercial. But to put on 100 acres, which is the site of the mall, at 30 in Cicero, which is empty, you know, that's 100 acres, and it's empty. You know, I'm not going to put it in a closed mall, not on a major street and stuff in the river. Okay, that just won't happen. I don't want to go. But I will get you jobs on my site. I will get you enough providers for Amazon. That I can tell you. If you work with me, we can get jobs. And those people will, you know, be able to live here, shop here.
And Mark, just to take it back, I know that we're all concerned about ensuring that the dollars circulate within the community, at least 8 times before it circles out. So just for those who don't know, we are setting up a path for great commercial, economic, and retail development. First, we had to create that workforce. We had to create the jobs. We had to create the industry. We had to create the people coming into the community. Now we're getting demands for new housing. Now there's potential annexing 300 acres on the west side of I-57. So now when the developers and the retail people see that there's a workforce of a couple of thousand people here from 24/7, 365, naturally, all of these people need a place to go for breakfast, for lunch, and for supper. And with the expansion of Governor State University and the expansion of their sports program, we're destined to get our hotel. Don't let anyone tell you I'm against that. The economy will set the standards for our hotel, but I do see the hotel in the future. That's why, in my opinion, it was very important to be visionary and take an opportunity to capture the parking lots and measure the east and the west side. I anticipate tremendous growth. And there's a bottleneck we're gonna have. There's really nothing we can do about it. And all you guys should remember, I think about our trustee Liz Williams. Liz Williams was right. We should all need that overpass. Because once we start that TOD study, this will just be a bottleneck in metro station in Cicero and Governor's Highway and metro station. Right now, there's nothing we can do about it. But we're very glad to see that it's stimulating the growth, stimulating the economy,
and we would look at a Raising Cane's on Cicero, we would look at a potential Cracker Barrel, they're looking for new sites. And we all know we want to shop in our community, get a grocery store, or regional grocery store that would draw people from the Rain Garden, east, west, north, and south. We're in Eastern
But in
County.
order to get that there, you need standard.
I know we do.
Without having a cross street there, you're not gonna get retail. The retailers want that traffic on both, on the new state and Cicero. It'll be a major intersection. And I think that would be very successful and a good part of our project. But again, I'm prepared to zone that property commercial for you. Assuming that this goes forward, I'm prepared to work with you on a community center that you would like to decide what you want to do. If we can get this going forward. I would really appreciate the opportunity.
Why the trustees felt that Carvana, that land is such an issue, because if you're sitting here, it's great that everybody is saying we want commercial development, but there was such a key piece. The trustees are trying to visualize, how can we put something around that huge ass parking lot? I mean, in Mr. Good's proposal to build a street, yes, that's a plus, but look at what my colleagues are thinking, like, yes, we need it, but look what we could have done when it came to Carvana, because now we have to build around it. And actually, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, what restaurant, what can we build around it? And Mr. Good is right. On that south end, right there, a little bit north of Carvana, that's a swamp area. So, yeah, it's a wetland. So it makes our decision to what we want, because what he's offering is good, but it's the decision of when it came to Carvana. The trustees have to see it in their mind, just that would benefit us as far as moving forward, because we're running out of land.
Okay, and I agree with you, but I will say this. You will have the opportunity in 3 or 4 months, if I can qualify to expand the fifth estate, to really sit down with my architect and engineer and land planners and plan this out. And if you don't agree what we are thinking about, and it doesn't work, and we can't come together, don't sign the development agreement. That's okay. You made that decision, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think in 3 or 4 months, we'll sit down. I've been here for 23 years in this community, and we'll come up with a plan that you'll look at and say, this is great, let's do it, and let's move forward. And if you don't, then we don't. And we're no better off than we are today. I would love you to vote tonight, because I would like to be able to get back to you in the spring and start getting this project going in 2024. I'm 72. I don't want to be here when I'm 80.
That's an internal joke.
I don't even want to run for president when I'm 80. No, I'm getting older by the day.
So you know what? So you know what now? My brother, listen, please listen. Now, we want to look at both sides of the coin, and Carvana, I understand that everyone says that was designated for some other opportunity, commercial, but when I sat on the board, there was never discussion regarding the project, because it was never finished on plan. It was always ruled by the farmers. The village never had control of that land. That 110 acres, Carvana didn't come to the mayor, say, "Can you buy this land?" They outreach to the farmers, to agriculture. When it was agriculture land, the village got no money, because we all know that there is no taxation on farmland. So when the deal went down, and all Carvana's permit fees, but at the end of the day, what we will capitalize from Carvana is $2 million in real estate taxes guaranteed, and a little bit over $1 million in retail and online sales tax, which we start to pick. And I understand that that's a heck of a corner, but that was something that we had no control over as a municipality. We never owned that corner So I really find it extremely hard for this group actually talking about purchasing that building. And that never came across from my 12 years from 2005 to 17. It never came about as far as purchasing the land. It was just old farmland. In my opinion, as the leader of the community, it's like 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing because it's sat there dormant. Just for our residents to understand my point of view, and not anybody, but if we don't have this open conversation, and have dialogue, and look at both sides of the coin, and understand what is fact. Because right now, we can still talk about that land. It would be trees and farmland. Perhaps we'll start getting our money and our proceeds from that, and we can turn back to the community, and we can do some different things with the farm finances. So I just want to make that statement. It's not like we took money, took British land that we owned and sold it, because that was not,
I just want to say that you can't get that back. That happened already. The reality is that we have the next best site for commercial that's on the and we would love to move forward.
Okay, all right, Mark. I think we want to keep on moving. We got a couple more people on the agenda. We got a couple items on this next agenda for a few minutes. So we want to move up. Trustee Brooks, thanks, Mark. We just need for a few minutes to see what happens.
Yes, I don't think we need a motion, but if we can put item FB1, because it does relate to the community center in tip 7, if we can move that up to 5.1, and move 5.C down to 5.D.
Okay, that's
I don't think we need a motion for that.
No,
it's discussion.
Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Good. Les Rogers.
I think I'm the first one to remove it from the whole. It's been quite an evening. I just want to first say that I'm Les Rogers, and I believe my presentation is going to be a little different because I believe everybody here can cite with what I'm about to talk about. My name is Les Rogers. This is my wife, Monique, and our general manager, Tracy. We are the owners of Empowered Move Inc. and the Solomon Saints Pro Basketball Team. We are a pro team in the iconic American Basketball Association. We also have the EMI Foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization. And I want to first say thank you to the trustees, because I'm going to ask you tonight to search your heart and to think about some things that I'm going to talk about. Because the things that we're going to talk about tonight are the one thing that everybody in here clings on to at the first opportunity, and that's hope. That's bringing hope to our children, to the marriages, the families, the communities, the local businesses. And so I'm going to ask you to consider that. But first I want to say and tell you a little bit about who I am so that you'll understand where I'm coming from. For the last 25 years or so, I served as a lead homicide detective, where I've served Southland, Chicagoland area. My wife and I run a very successful marriage ministry for a very large church in Southland. I am a partner with Community and Schools of Chicago, where I have youth leadership and mentoring programs that's offered to more than 230 schools at no cost. It has been so popular that it has been translated in Spanish and Chinese, because people want to save their children. And so I just wanted to take a few minutes to say that as a marriage ministry leader, as a detective for all of those years, doing all the mentoring that I do, we started a very successful community watch for Valley Trade Community Watch, Valley Trade and Flossmoor. And I'm saying all that to say, all of those connections to the community tells me one thing. There's a mother right now sitting at home worried that if she doesn't get her son interested in something that's going to keep him innocent and occupied, she's going to lose him to the street. There's a mother and a father afraid to send their precious little 5-year-old girl to school because of the violence in a lot of communities. There's a child looking up at his mother and father as they struggle to find a way to love them. And that child is going to face trauma if they can't make that marriage work. Why am I talking about these things? Because we offer possibilities that allow these people to get through those times. So I'm going to ask you to direct your attention to the PowerPoint to your right. And before I go any further, I want to thank Mr. Good for considering to make this a possibility and allow us to bring these programs to University Park and to Southland as a whole. And I'll be honest, there have been several communities that have approached us about bringing these programs to their community. But we made the decision that this is the place for us to house those programs that will serve so many children and so many families. One thing that we've determined, well, I'll try and make it as clear as possible. One thing that we, oh yeah, that's fine. One thing that we determined is that if you want to build your community, you've got to strengthen your families in those communities. There's a clear pattern involving families in thriving communities and among communities that suffer. The pattern all relates back to the strength of the families in those communities. And so I want to share something with you. I was taking a ride through a local community. I was on duty as a detective and I was getting off my shift. And I started to look at this community and I want to share with you what I observed because it touched and it hurt my heart to see what happens to communities when the families are not strong.
As I drove through a once thriving community, I was reminded of the devastation that occurs when families are weak, families split, incomes are cut in half, businesses fail, and communities suffer. These were once homes filled with families. The strength of a community rests in the future of its families.
This is a community not far from us. And when I share the statistics with you, you're going to see why these programs are so important in University Park. And you can be the beginning of what other communities want to do, because this is where our focus needs to be. When families break down, communities die. And so we have to find a way to pour into communities. We have to get those things that are standing in our way out of the way and vote yes to bring these programs to University Park, because one way or the other, we are going to bring these programs. Somebody's going to benefit from what I'm about to share with you. We looked at 5 communities. We looked at Inglewood, Fort Heights, Madison, Oakland, and Orland Park. We looked at a few facts. We looked at the family dynamics, whether they were 1, 2-parent household, whether they were dysfunctional or functional. We looked at income, crime, and the connection. And if you look at the red, that is the average income. And if you see the areas with the low average income and the low number of couples that were married or 2-parent household, guess what shot up? The crime, the abandoned buildings because families separated, that one parent lost the home. And so there is a direct connection. National Marriage Project done at University of Virginia talks about how children growing up in single-family homes are more likely to struggle with hardships such as delinquency and teen pregnancy. Boys growing up in a single-family home are twice as likely to get arrested. We know that if we do not pour into the strength of a family, if we don't put those things in place, if we don't have marriage enrichment programs and programs for couples to learn how to fight through their tough times, they're not gonna make it. They're gonna split up, and those children are gonna suffer. So if you wanna do something great for your community, build your families up. Whether a family is functional or dysfunctional affects poverty and juvenile delinquency. The youth were behind 50% of all robberies. You guys watch the news. Our children are in trouble. And here's the problem. All of this stuff is sad. One of the hardest things for me to do as a detective was to ring that doorbell and know that when whoever opened that door, I'm gonna change your life forever. I'm gonna tell you of a tragedy that's happening in your family that did not have to happen. If only that young boy had the tools, a place to go, a mentor to teach him how to be a man. A young lady who could go through one of our etiquette programs and look in the mirror and say, I love myself enough to say no to that dude that's trying to trick me. These things matter. And all these things are sad, but you know what's saddest? You know what's more sad than all those things I'm talking about? It's for us to do nothing when we have the power in our hands to do something. That's sadder than anything that we're talking about. Here's the good news. The Southland Saints basketball team, it's more than basketball. Yes, we would like to bring a professional basketball and football team so that we can give you a United Center experience in Southland. But that building is going to be more than that. We are active in the community, school drives, youth programs, professional development. My wife is a nationally recognized human resource director for a major company. We are going to do professional development. People will learn how to write their resumes. We'll bring job fairs. The community watch program, the young man here, Tracy Skinner, he's part of our community watch. We have 18 watch captains. They've all been trained to report. We have relationship with the police. When the police came out and people didn't want to talk, we got on the phone and sent a text message out, and within minutes, people were talking to the police. That's what community watch programs do. I've also appealed to all of Southland. We would like to have a central training ground to teach everyone in Southland how to create their own community watch, because the police can't do it alone. A community watch, it's the eyes and the ears of the neighborhood. It's that person, when you're out of town, that's watching that person break into your house to steal your most valuables, and they make a call because you build a relationship through your community watch. We have so much control over what's happening in our communities. I grew up in the Wild Hunters on the south side of Chicago. And I've been a detective for almost 30 years for the Cook County Sheriff's Police Department. And I'm gonna tell you one thing I noticed. I noticed communities that were okay, and all of those red flags came up. They popped up. Nobody did anything about it. Nobody poured into the youth. People didn't want to talk to the police. Buildings became abandoned because there was nobody saying marriage is good. We've got to do something different. We do marriage conferences. We've had people call us and say, you saved my marriage. But guess what? It wasn't even about their marriage. It was about what families represent in community. You guys as a government, you only can do so much. You've got to get the people rallying behind you and knowing that you are not only doing what you agree on here because you think it's the right thing, but because you're thinking about them. You've got to make a choice to do something that you may not totally agree with, because there's nobody else trying to give us 12 acres of land to build something to bring all these programs to. At what point do we decide that it's hurting us to keep losing family members? young men. You watching the news, do you know who's driving those armored trucks? Do you know who's doing the carjackings? How old are they? 15 years old. Babies. They should be in one of our camps. They should be in our Youth Leadership Academy. This is another program we're bringing. The Youth Leadership Academy teaches a child everything that they will not learn in school. Etiquette. If you just look at the list here, and I'll try not to go on and on, we have a licensed mental health therapist on board, teaching children how to resolve conflict and anger management, self-reflection and building confidence, leadership, self-government. How do you govern your own behaviors and attitudes? Leadership skill development. We use chess to teach strategic thinking, calming the mind, exercise logic and pattern recognition, knowing how to associate choices with consequences. And my favorite dream big, with any of you sitting here, stop dreaming, or you have nothing to look forward to, you die when you sit. We gotta give children a way to dream and to see something beyond what we see on the news or what people tell them they can't do. That's what this leadership academy is gonna do. But that's not the only program. We'll have programs for the youth, sport camps. We'll have family enrichment programs, safety and wellness academy for seniors. There's a senior citizen somewhere right now, and they're about to lose everything they own because of a Roots burglary. You can share with them what a Roots burglary is, right? It's where someone comes in your home dressed like Mr. Con Ed, and they take all of your savings. But if you're a senior and you come to our facility, you get to learn how to protect yourself from Roots burglary, what questions to ask. You can walk around that wellness track and work on your health. These are the things that we're trying to bring to University Park. And I'm going to tell you, I want it to be here, but if we can't get it here, somebody's going to give it to us. Because it's not just about us wanting to do it. This is a calling on my wife and my life. This is something that keeps me up late at night. I know this is my calling, and I have to get this done. I'm asking you to consider being that government that help us get it done. Whatever that is, whatever you got to work out, whatever needs to be done so that we can bring these programs to the community. How do you tell the program, how do you tell the community you walked away from these programs? I don't know how you do that. I really don't. Some of the other programs, business meeting spaces, it'll create jobs for the youth and adults. It'll be revenue for University Park. And you'll have your own pro basketball team. We're giving families an alternative to the United Center. In 2022-23, a season ticket price was at about $5,700 per seat for 100 level, 300 level, 2,800. For a family of 5 sitting in the nosebleed section, $625. The distance, the drive, the parking. But our games are family friendly. You can bring the babies, the kids, the granny. There's not gonna be cussing and profanity. It's gonna be clean, great, fast, fun basketball game where you can buy concessions and buy our apparel. We have a television streaming network where we're actually highlighting the youth in South. So there's just so much that we're trying to do, and we need your help. The Raging Bulls is a semi-pro football team who will also partner with us to bring additional entertainment. And that's what this center is all about. It's not just sports. It's a place for families to walk in and come out better. So I end with this. Trustees, mayor, and Mr. Good, and anyone else who decides they want to rally behind what we're trying to do. I just ask you to think of those children that need us, those families that are being torn apart, and ask yourself, is there anything that should stand in the way of doing? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you, what you're doing. Have you talked? Managers, have you talked to the group of South Suburban managers?
South Suburban.
Mayors and managers?
No.
Whole group.
You should.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You should do this.
Thank you. I'm really feeling that we got one person in the city support us. I feel really. I guess that's it. Anybody have any other questions? No, trustee. Okay. The question was, could you break down more about what that facility would look like? So, I guess the first thing I'd like to say is, I'd like to, I guess, is it all? I'm sorry. Okay, there it is. So, if you can imagine walking into a building like this, the EMI Arena, whatever you choose to name it, and inside, there's this massive space with 7,000 seats. And in those 7,000 seats, to bring revenue to this community, we could have concerts. You can have basketball games. You can do conventions. And then alongside that arena, yeah. What Mr. Good is handing out is kind of the site plan. And just to finish your trustee Fulton, is that imagine also there's an area in there for classroom where we're running leadership academy. There's an area for business meetings. And this building would have an area for health and fitness, maybe with the track that runs around it for the seniors to get some activity. So it's really anything we want it to be. So if you said, hey man, I like that, but what about X, Y, Z? I think it's worth getting everyone involved because that way we don't miss anything. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, we have that, so I did get it right.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood what was inside, like you said, 7,000 seats, the track, it's football and basketball, high school, transition to basketball, football.
And that's a great breakdown. Thank you. That you can transition that basketball court, you can transition that from the football field to basketball. The reason that's great is our seasons are opposite. My season runs from November to March, and the football season runs opposite that. And so it would just be a great opportunity to really think about it. How many of you really like jumping in the car sitting 45 minutes, an hour and a half of traffic to get to the United Center? And then when you get there, you can't pay your mortgage this month because you had to buy a ticket. Because we know what those tickets cost. If you really, two things, and I'll move on. Two things. I would like you to decide sooner than later. But if you would like to come out to our season open on November 4th, we currently play in a 3,000 seat arena in the rain tables. My wife can tell you, and Tracy, we won Business of the Year award for our first year for our robust internship program, which is another thing I did not get to mention. Monique, if I forget something, remind me. And so we are into the children. We're about the children. But guess what? People forget about the marriages too. Save the child, save their mom and daddy too. It's inclusive of everybody. And so I know that sometimes we all don't folks right away ponder what it means to us. We've been approached by one other entity and 3 other cities directly, asking us to sit down with them and a developer to build this particular project. So it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's here.
Great presentation. I'm gonna follow up with my colleague. Yes, I'm a jack of all trades. I used to work for the United Center too. Right? So I was there. I got a t-shirt to say I made it happen. I was there when it was dirt in the middle of the arena. And the first event we had was SummerSlam. So to follow through on trusted culture, I heard you mention football. So is it an indoor? And I'm assuming for you to do that, you're definitely going to have a conversion crew like the United Center to make that transition. And I would imagine if I see at 24,000 square feet, probably would be a little bit more, right? Because as you know, in the United Center, the pools, it takes about 2 hours to make a conversion and restore most of the things, depending on the event, even if it's the circus in town, we would take and store it between the loading dock and the hallways before you get to the pools and black box locker room. But, what's your conversion? I see you have two teams that's gonna be there. How do you plan to work that out as far as conversion crews and how big are you expecting the facility to be? Because I heard you say it's gonna, I see this good that showed us, but how big, are you, this vision? This is a lot, it's a lot, so what's that plan?
Well, when it comes to the structure and all that, we kind of leave that to the architects, and I ask them, what can we put there? How much space we'll need? And so I think that that's one of those things that we continue to talk about. My partner, the Raging Bulls, he has a lot of those numbers because there was a feasibility plan done and a bunch of other stuff. So we have all that information we can get into. What I'm excited about is that you have some history. And so maybe I need to get your number and we can bring you on board.
I work right under Jim Coleman. I think he's gonna retire. I work right under Jim Coleman. He's the guy that you see in the picture that paints. He the white guy. He paints the black art in the day. That's him, Mr. Coleman. I'm assuming his retirement should be coming up. Like we had that he was the one. He's the boss because the United States. You have the administrative side, and you have day-to-day operation on the Kohler, and I fell into that with the shipping, the mailing, and the support system for the Blackhawks and Bulls and all of Mr. Ward's companies. So, I know when it comes to dealing with stadium, it's quite big. It's a huge management. So I'm happy that you have us, because I was told different, but I'm glad it's you. Because I thought it was supposed to be Bob. Was it one of Joe? What's his name? Bo Jackson, a sportsman. Bo Jackson. All right. So I'm glad that we had this before us and just so the public would know. I did, because I do feel that it would be good to communicate with the mayor, and I did communicate with the mayor, Mr. Good, the last meeting, and said that I felt that even though we're doing this process, that with this board, the presentations accounts before we do anything. So I would do it different. I would have had you come first, then Mr. Good, because we know Mr. Good. Yeah, see.
When you want to do it over?
No. But it was perfect for the residents to know the major change that that's being proposed on that north end of town. And to listen to you say this, and me, I clearly understand how to arena management. I worked from the time I was 16 to the age of 22. So I clearly worked in arena management and understand how vital this would be to the community. It was just my question of, I know you have the basketball, but since you mentioned football, I knew that apparently the facility is going to be bigger. I know we only need this amount of square feet, but apparently, your project is bigger than, right, it's big, but I love it because I know what it would do. I remember when Chicago Stadium had the Henry Horners around there. You could not be an Andy Frey Nation and get out that L and walk to Chicago Stadium and do your jump. You had to literally get out on that bus or you're gonna get robbed. So I'm very happy that was my key thing of asking, would it be to the point that we have conversion crews? Does it sound like a big operation?
I want to ask you a question about the conversion. The great thing is that our season is opposite of the football team season. So there would not be a daily conversion. It would be kind of our season is over. And then another thing I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad first we have law enforcement and crime. You got insurance numbers, you got arena management, and the whole thing is that we need everyone on deck, hands on deck to make this thing happen. You have some experience, you have some exposure, and I just want to make them happy. I know the mayor's been very interested in the programs for the residents here. And you got to remember something, you guys will be the hub. It'll be in University Park, but the rest of the villages and cities will see that your children are doing well in these leadership academies, and they're going to sport camps, and the seniors are getting security and wellness training, and they're going to want to come. I say don't pass the opportunity. Don't let anything stand in the way of bringing these programs to University Park. Because as you know, I'm a praying guy, a spiritual guy. And God laid it on my heart, this is our home. But that can change. Because you gotta want us. You gotta want us. Thank you.
We got one question from Ms. Barry.
I'm sorry.
Are you familiar with the center in?
No. Which one?
You are. Somebody that can flip flop
To soccer,
basketball, volleyball. It has something for everybody. It is enormous and it is great.
Nice.
I utilize and my son is the major coach out there.
Oh, we did go to that. She's the boss. I don't know about this.
So you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew it all the time.
I think just the one really quick add-on. Yeah, just the one really quick add-on just to the lady's comment that she made. When we talk about the season for our team is 6 months, 5 months, and then it's also opposite of the basketball team. But we're talking about this, I'm sorry, the football team, I'm sorry. But we're talking about this being something that also allows an opportunity for your local high school, your local middle school to be able to host their championship games so that they can do that on a different level to give your babies that exposure. There's also an opportunity for you to do graduation commencements for your high school or for your middle school. Those are things that right now, people go to their local church to do, but you give your babies that opportunity to do something on a larger scale. So we're talking about it for the reasons that Les so eloquently laid out. But there's a lot of opportunity here for the community where you can multi-purpose the space to be able to utilize it to do other things that are so needed in University Park.
Indoor stadium, I don't know, but as I say, I utilize it quite often, and they can shift from 2 soccer fields, big soccer fields, to basketball fields. They can accommodate Home Depot on one side, Menards on the other side. Grandkids can still play and basketball. It's in Romeoville, and it's the other commercial that is around that attracts me, because I'm a business person. And you name it, and the businesses are there. All of the major businesses. And it houses everything. And where people come from as far as Champaign, all down there to utilize it, I would suggest you see it. And it has multi-level. Even have a beer while my son's playing upstairs.
I was just gonna say, and then just the one thing I think that's different than what we're talking about going to University Park that's different is that the facility that she's referring to, you know, when you go to your kids' games and they have like those metal seats for you to sit on, and they'll go hard to sit on after a while, especially the older we get. We're talking about stadium seating. So that's not anywhere in this community, in our community. Anywhere you go right now, you're not going to have that experience unless you're at a college or a university. So that would be one difference to what you're sharing.
That's her word.
Oh, and that's the taxes
Okay, question. Yes, that's good stuff. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. She wanted to know the cost. We estimated that it's going to be a lot less than some of these other areas. We estimated about 12 million to get it done. And that is really low when you look at what it costs to build the now arena and all of those other facilities. But here's the great news, everyone. The great news is that once we say we're going to do it and everybody's on board, there are people out there waiting to spend money that they have on helping people. There are people that have been so blessed and they know that that blessing comes with helping others. There's a few of them. Okay, well, I'm going to take your question. I just want to say to you all, the difference also is that these programs are not a vision. These are programs that are already running. So it's not like you're going to wait for us to have to develop a lot. Our program will be ready when that building is up. We will be able to start bringing people in and registering for our leadership academy and all of the other things we'll offer. I'm sorry.
I just want to say the presentation was excellent, that we do need this because we are losing so many of our young people to gangs, violence, and this is just what the doctor ordered. I appreciate the fact that you're a man of God, that you're a ministry, that you're going to minister to the whole community, not just the youth, the seniors, the couples. We need that. And I, for one, I think it's a great idea. It's something I would like to see. We're also big on baseball here, so it'd be great if our kids could have batting cages and things like that. We want to start golfing for the young people. It would be good if we could get that started. So I think everything that you said, I'm checking out on it. Right.
Thank you, Trustee Williams.
Thank you.
Was there anyone else? I'm sorry.
And my grandson, the football now, and play baseball and basketball. But the thing is, they have to go to Richard Park to play football, and the basketball, and the court, and the basketball here. Because last week before last, I got this ring. I was out there supporting, they won, but I recently ring and it was hard. We hope that we can get considered. I think right now we have management control, but coming out trouble and stuff like that. At home now with his mother, and I'm there too. So support. I commend Mr. Steve about the election.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank everyone for their patience. Trustee McFadden, church girl.
Hi, I just want to say I like everything I heard. My son just graduated this past year. He had to go to Timothy Park for graduation. Married, me and my husband are nesting, so married. So I just agree with everything you said. I'm really, really looking forward to this.
All right, well, if that's it, we'll round up the question. We've got Mr. Camille Hogan and Bridget Stewart presenting. So thank you so much, Mr. Rogers and Mrs. Rogers. Thank you so much. Yes, Trustee Brooks.
So it's to my understanding that Mr. Rogers would move to the agenda that there's a motion that we would vote on the next meeting so that he can begin his project on University Park. Am I correct?
It all depends on the step. That's what it's dependent on.
Well, we got plenty of land in University Park. I mean, why are we connecting this strictly to Mr. Good?
Not necessarily.
Right, so we will make a motion with the next agenda. Am I correct? Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Rogers.
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Hogan.
Mayor, trustees, evening. This is going to be a very active follow, so we're going to talk about health insurance right now. So bear with me as I go through this. But my name is Khalil Logan. I'm the president and CEO of this National Insurance Group. We're the insurance broker for University Park. This is another tough year. Well, those who are not familiar with what's going on in the world of healthcare, COVID has really wreaked havoc in the health insurance industry overall. As a result of that, there are a lot of large claims. Your group in particular had 10 large claims that added up to about $1.5 million in spend. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois was proposing an initial increase of 24%. We were able to negotiate that down to about 16.5%. And then through bundling discount with your dental and life insurance programs, ended up at about 14.9%. Everything I'm referencing is maybe in your folder. This national folder on the left-hand side is a summary letter. This is what I'm referencing right now. There's an additional opportunity for the village to save more money on the insurance program if you adopt one of the options that are listed within this presentation, which would bring the increase down to about 12.5%. That option would include increasing the deductible on your current program, your PPO, from $500 per individual up to $1,000. It would reduce the co-insurance from 100% to 90%. It would also change the pharmacy program, the prescription drug card benefit, to a 6-tier program. Those changes would bring your cost all the way down to 12.5%. Everybody see this information I'm referencing in the folders?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the summary page which talks about everything I just mentioned. The details regarding the plan design options are on the left-hand side of your folder. There are spreadsheets that open up. It's going to be on the 3rd page spreadsheet. You'll see it's highlighted in yellow. It says page 3, medical page 3 at the bottom. So within that, what you'll see is the benefits are listed from left to right, horizontal. You have 3 different plans. You have a PPO, high deductible health plan, HSA, and HMO. 69 employees are enrolled in the PPO plan. There's nobody in the HSA plan, and there's 13 people in the HMO plan. The majority are in the PPO. So again, the option C, which is highlighted in yellow, you'll see anything listed in red font, that is a change in benefit. So again, that first column will be the deductible, and the option is to increase that from 500 per individual to 1,000. Which, by the way, just to give some context around that, we are seeing that a lot of villages and municipalities are having to make plan design changes to their benefits as a way to help reduce costs. So what we're proposing, what we're looking at here is an option that's not too far off from what we're seeing in municipal organizations. The deductible, keep in mind, deductible expense is really only applicable to individuals that have hospital-related services. So for those who are going to see their doctor on a regular basis for, cold, flu, those sorts of things, that's going to just be your normal copay. $20 to see your primary care doctor, or $40 for your specialist. No change in those benefits. If you're admitted to the hospital, or if you're in for outpatient surgery, that's when your deductible comes into play. So again, right now it's 500. The option is to increase that to 1,000. By design, by Blue Cross Blue Shield in the market that you're in, any design change you make to your program creates additional changes that come along with it, because your program you have right now is a grandfathered plan. So this option would in fact change the deductible as well as co-insurance, the out-of-pocket limit, and then your pharmacy copay would also change. Right now, your pharmacy copay for generic drugs is $10. The option here is to go to either 0 for preferred generic drugs or 10 for non-preferred generic drugs. So for some people, they're going to realize the savings by not paying anything for their generic medications versus $10. The increase comes when you look at the pharmacy for the more expensive brand medications. So your formulary or your preferred generic or brand medications would be $50 copay, non-preferred $100, and then for the really high cost specialty drugs, which cost anywhere from $5,000 to $70,000 per script, there would be a copay of either $150 or $250 per script. Everything else within the benefit program would remain the same. The other plans would remain the same. That would reduce your increase from 14.9% down to 12.5%. Are there any questions? Correct. Very top is your current plan. And then in green shaded box is the renewal with no plan changes. That's 14.9% increase. I want to make sure everyone's aware we did go to the markets as well. We reached out all the major insurance companies. Unfortunately, we received a declination from Aetna and Cigna. United Healthcare did provide a proposal. It's actually on page 5. But they were uncompetitive. The rates came in 30% above current. They were higher than the Blue Cross Blue Shield.
You don't have a flex pay, and if you have flex pay, that be a savings to the village.
Are you referring to? Yeah, it's a benefit to the participants who enroll in it. So for those who are not familiar, an FSA stands for flexible spending account. It's a way to put aside money through payroll deduction pre-tax to pay for unreimbursed medical and dental vision expenses.
Is that something that is whether or not we do it?
Well, I think he's asking, is it beneficial to the village? I think it's more beneficial to the participants on the health plan than it is to the village.
How do we get that? How do we get a flexible spending account?
Flexible spending account is pretty simple to offer. It's just a program you hire a third-party administrator, and they handle all the compliance regarding the flexible spending account. There is a cost, typically it's roughly about $5 to $6 per participant per month. They would receive a debit card, and they would use that card to pay for those expenses, the pre-tax dollars. They would essentially be paying back the village through payroll deduction over the course course of the year. That's how it works.
Questions, anyone? Comments? Give them a minute to show up. So what?
Sure.
And one of the things I did want to add was that you'll piggyback on is the amount of the deductible and how low it is for this health insurance plan for this municipality. I think we had previous conversation, the average is around 1,500 and up. So this is costing the village a lot of money. There's also a couple other issues that I think that as a board we need to address. One of the things is that deductibles here historically have been reimbursed. That's an issue for me, they've been reimbursed. So when an employee reaches a $500 deductible, we cut them a check and give them that money back. When I first got here, I inquired about that. That's problematic for the village as far as to stay financially solvent. The other thing is, I think that, so I don't know if that needs to be voted on as a resolution to cut that out moving forward. I couldn't find that anywhere in the employee handbook saying that we reimburse people $500. The other thing that's an issue is I think that we need to look at grandfathering employees and not continue to pay lifetime insurance. At the rate that the village is going, down the road, we will not be able to sustain ourselves. We do have several employees that qualify that work here in the 80s or whatever, so I just want to put that out there for those people. We'll continue to have, the lifetime insurance, but I think that's something that maybe we need to revisit down the line. I need to look, I believe it's around a dozen or so. Last time I looked, but I need to get an accurate count.
I find it strange though, because the deductible is always the village to reimburse people. That's not her. That is the person, responsibility to meet that deductible. And honestly, $1,000 deductible, it doesn't take long. That's the cost by now. So it's not gonna take that long to satisfy, and I think we should ask for information only.
It's for hospital services. Yeah, it's hospital services. Whenever you walk into a hospital, it's expensive. The bills are $1,000. So yeah, it's.
I just want to tell you, you work for the best company in the world, Blue Shield, which I gave 27 years to. So I just want you to know, thank you for coming out. Are you at the?
I appreciate that.
Are you at the 300 bill?
No, I used to work for Blue Cross. It's funny you mentioned, I worked for Blue Cross back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I'm on the broker side now, so I'm trying to make sure Blue Cross doesn't charge you too much. We negotiate on your behalf. Thank you. That's a new benefit, we're bringing that up. So that's a new offering that we can provide to the village. There's no cost to put that program in place. It does provide a number of discounts on things like airline tickets, car rentals. You can even purchase pet insurance if you'd like. I mean, it's really a comprehensive list of discounts and insurance products. Nothing goes through payroll deduction, so if employees find anything of value, they would have a direct means to get that savings through that vendor. Mineral is an HR resource that we have provided for the last few years now. It's an HR service that can help anything from HR law, harassment training. There's a host of information included in that portal. It also includes an 800 line to speak to an HR professional.
This is something that to the village administration.
Correct.
This is free.
Nothing's free, but we cover that cost. It's free to the village. Free to the village. Yeah. Yep. Correct. Yeah. The other thing too, just as a reminder, one of the services that we really are proud of is we do offer assistance for employees and dependents whenever they have issues with their insurance. So we would claim or bill to get the mail, and don't understand being owed the money. It's all kinds of confusion around healthcare and how insurance benefits work. They have direct access into our office for assistance, but we get involved and take them out of that and resolve it on their own.
Thank you so much, Mr. Holder.
All right, thank you all, appreciate it.
I have 5 presentation discussion. Reimbursement program for fire department. Pretty easy to the podium, Mr. Shaw.
So basically, what I'm requesting from the board is for the fire department to participate in the EEM program. Ground Emergency Medical Transport. Basically, it's a reimbursement supplemental program to our current Medicaid program. So how we're running into Medicaid is they reimburse about 30% of our costs to run an ambulance. So participating in this program has got 2 really big things. The federal government will fund the difference between Medicare, what Medicare currently pays, and what it costs to us. The thing I'm most interested in is to participate in this program, we have to do an internal audit. So it's such an in-depth internal audit that I don't know the exact dollars of the cost to run an ambulance out of this. It's never been done in the history of the department. So by knowing what it would cost us to run this ambulance and our current billing, it will actually recalibrate our billing and it will be able to get reimbursed for it. The key thing is it costs nothing to the village, costs nothing to residents at Medicaid or Medicaid. So basically it's a pot of money the federal government put aside to supplement Medicaid that we're Medicare that we're just trying to get.
And it's been in effect, I believe, since 2019. That's right. The state and the village has never taken advantage of this program, and it could bring in a substantial amount of money to add to our budget.
Yes, so the reason why a lot of departments are starting to get on board now is the internal audit is so in depth that it goes into the cost of the tires, the ambulance, the cost of the insurance, the personnel. It's just overwhelming the amount of information you have to do to participate. One key thing is it's an ongoing yearly evaluation. So this is just a one-time participate in the program, but every year we have to recalibrate our numbers. So projections right now, we're currently in the million amount of projections right now, we talked about $150,000. We could be up on $700,000 in collection. And this is all money that's set aside to offset those costs for Medicaid, Medicaid, that's right. That we're just, the citizens of the village are just eating the difference. So this is a program that we finally took, grab by the horns, get involved in the audit, and just get this done. So I just request that we engage in an intergovernmental agreement to Health and Family Services in the state, and this is this program going. We do have a deadline for the other one, the signing of the. So we can definitely have a audit done by.
That was directed to the point. Item 5, we have presentation and discussion resolution authorizing
I believe Ms. Henry is here. I just wanted to give a little background. She reached out to me recently and was interested. She is a resident of University Park. She operates a business called Class, which is located at 3851 West Roosevelt Road. From my understanding, if I recall correctly, you've been in business for over 30 years, not necessarily at that particular location. But the commute has become kind of arduous for you, difficult. So she'd like to be closer to her community, invest in her community, and we would love to welcome her. So we would like to.
Good evening. My name is Lydia Henry. First, I want to thank Elizabeth for being on the board in such a short notice. When I was sitting there when I first came in, I said, "Now, what did I walk into?" But then I thought about it because I had a prayer, I had faith, and I said to myself, "No, we all like it for one reason, and that's the well-being of the community, the safety of the community, and the growth of the community." I've been in business and retail for over 30 years. Class boutique, I've been established now for over 8 years. 3851 West Roosevelt Road. My daughter had a boutique. We both started at the same time. My daughter passed in 2021. I've been struggling a little bit, to be honest with you guys. Because me and my brother was part of the city of Chicago. So I didn't have that the youth. I didn't have that to continue on into the city. But I have established a very solid, foundation. Very family oriented boutique. The people love their city of Chicago. I love them there. Out here at University Park, I found out a lot of my customers come into the inner city. Youth from out here in University Park and the surrounding areas, they come into the city to shop in boutiques. Here, whether in January, we go for young men from University Park, into the inner city to my junction. I don't know if a lot of you guys heard about it. So I thought about that. Customers, because the youth, they want to do young things. They want to do things like young. So they want to wear latest fashion. They want to, they want to be a part of that. So we can't take that away from it. So at Class Boutique, I have urban wear. I have, you walk into Class Boutique, you can find 8-year-old who walk into Class Boutique, find a beautiful star, a kind of sweater, or something of that nature. I service from the age of 18 to 85. Silk scarves, whatever you may look for, beautiful head like we got on, I carry over Class Boutique. So I'm here, I've been in University Park for 11 years, and I just want to bring that to University Park out here, what I'm bringing to Chicago.
Question.
Now this will be ladies and
ladies and gents, yes. Yes. I'm all about safety too, you guys. I've been running the ministry about 35 years. Sister Go Get Your Sister ministry. It caters to young women, self-esteem, help build their self-esteem. And with Class Boutique, like prom, like we got pre-women high school, we have clothes for prom, special occasion, after 5, we'll go to date, Class Boutique, and find an apparel.
Trustee, it is for Unit 6, which is where the fraternity clothing unit was, and I also want to add, there is some work that needs to be done, not a lot, some light work, in which Ms. Henry agreed to absorb the cost 100%. She's only looking for a 1-year lease with an option to renew. The other leases that I reviewed, we have a 90-day notice before it automatically renews. So she's asking for a one-year lease. And we can also.
Excuse me?
How many days a week would you be open?
6 days. 6 days, yes.
And stuff that's in there now, is empty?
It is gone.
Yeah, they want you in the first place.
And then I did speak previously with Trustee Bolger, regarding the other units that we had rented. That was a long time ago. We had discussion about getting uniform on board with all of the units. I don't want to get into a public thing, the prices are all over the place. I don't want to turn anything off coming to this community. But we do need to get on board with, I am looking at the prices, they run the spectrum. So the leases that are coming up that are being renewed, we are going to have to obviously increase the rent. For Ms. Henry also, we would adhere to the 3% yearly increase, which we are currently doing for all of our renewals also.
Yes.
soon? Or how soon?
I think she had mentioned November first, but if you're unable to take possession of the unit rental until December first, we're okay with that as well. I just don't want you to get it over your head, rush. Because if the board so chooses, I'm sure they're open to you opening up in December as well.
Will you still be maintaining your store in Chicago?
Excuse me?
Will you still be maintaining your boutique in Chicago? Yes, have two stores.
Is the security guard at the same time?
Yes, there will be security in there, and that is with the other units.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item 5.1G, discussion related to contract with Leslie Baird as human resource consultant.
Good evening, everyone. I have to tell you this first. Last night, my granddaughter called me at 8 o'clock at night. And I answered the phone and I said, "Aren't you in bed already?" She said, "Grandma, it's 8 o'clock. So when I leave her tonight, I'm gonna go in my car, I'm gonna call her, I'm gonna say, I'm still up." But I thank you for the opportunity to present to you today. Hopefully I won't take up how much of your time, although I did save the best to last, and I turned to the other page, but that's something totally different. But my name's Leslie, and I've been in HR for over 30 years. And I have been a HR director at Will County. And I will tell you a secret that you can't share. The new director of Will County HR department starts this week, and she is from University of Park. So, and I asked her the other day, I said, "Do you know everybody?" She goes, "I don't go to those programs." So I just said, okay, but we did kind of talk, so I'm really proud of that for her. I retired in May, and prior to my working with Will County, for the number of years I did, I was a consultant for them. And I went into their HR department and I started focusing on some of the basic things which I'm hoping that I'll be able to bring to University Park. A couple of those things are simple things like putting your forms together, setting up your hiring practices, posting the jobs the way that Elizabeth has been doing, but maybe even branching out a little bit more. Also, not only that, but employee relations. I've had AFSCME is the union that loves me near and dear, but I've been with AFSCME. I've negotiated 5 contracts with them, 3 of them with the help of the attorneys that I work with, the other 2 with the attorneys looking over my shoulder and letting me take the lead, so I'm proud of that. I also have worked with other villages and other municipalities, Hopkins, Illinois, Countryside, Westchester, and then I also have been working with Richmond Park, which I believe some of UP is part of Richmond Park, so I'm excited about that. I've also had the opportunity to work and be president of the Illinois Labor Relations Association, and that's where all the municipalities, if you went to IML, most of them were there the week before last, but to work with them, again, offer a lot of the union information that we work with. I do want to bring up one thing that I did hear the gentleman from the broker about the HR portal. I used to be on the other end of an HR portal. I did it for Management Association, where they contracted out to HR professionals to answer the hotline and answer questions for managers or whoever it may be. And I've got to tell you, it's no secret. It's a waste. I don't knock anybody, but what I want you all to be clear of is that you need a person that's in HR that you can count on, that you can call, that you can talk to, and it's the same person all the time. So you're going to get the same answer. Then you also need to make sure that as I'm offering you a consulting project, because that's what I do now, one of the things that you can also look at is setting up your HR department so that you can put the best practices in place. Simple things like forms, simple things like postings of what needs to go up in terms of employment labor laws. So those kinds of things. I'm, like I said, I'm no spring chicken. I've retired from the county. Your meeting today reminded me of our county board meetings that I used to have to go to. I was like, man, I didn't miss that at all. But you were a little bit nice, to be honest with you. But anyway, I just want to say that's what I have to offer you, my services. I am looking forward to that if this goes through. And the one last thing that I do want to say is that I just recently met Elizabeth, and I happened to have had a conversation with her on a Sunday afternoon. So that young lady is working. We talked on a Sunday afternoon, and she was on her way to Costco. And I was trying to watch a ball game. She was going to Costco. But we did have the opportunity to talk, and then I met her, and we talked a couple more times after that. And the vision that she has for what she wants to do, based on all of you giving that direction, I hope to be able to help and add to that. I'm not a Chicagoan. I'm born and raised in New York City. The joke I always tell is I grew up between, you knew that, didn't you? I grew up between LL Cool J and Donald Trump in Queens. And I also asked my sister, why don't I remember LL Cool J? And she said, he grew up with his mom. I go, oh, okay. So there you have it. I work with, I do believe in getting the job done. While it is something that's not going to be full-time, it's something that I will always have access, and Elizabeth will have access to, and to you and anybody else that your mayor deems necessary to have access to me as much as needed. So I thank you for that. Thank you for this.
So I wanted to ask listening, because I know sometimes when you get up to the podium, you tend to get a little nervous, but it wasn't Richmond Park, she actually works for Richmond Township.
Rich Township, oh my God, what did I say? Oh, I work with Calvin, he would have.
You said Richmond Park, but I read your resume, so it's, I'm sorry, just Richmond Township. She comes highly recommended, and she's over there now, straightening out their HR. I need to say this also, when I came and I was onboarded, I was shocked at paperwork or lack thereof that I was given when I came on board. Typical forms that you see. Also, I was shocked to find out that we didn't have a basic COBRA letter. So I did have to reach out and put together a COBRA letter when we had some employees that were separated from the village with their employment. And there's also simple things, like I requested seniority lists from membership from a union, and the information I got back was incorrect. The files need to be looked at. We have a lot of workman's comp plans, things that we really just need to clean up. And I don't think that it is responsible for the village to bring in a director right away when there's so many things that need to be cleaned up and laid out. I also want to say that there was a comment that was made earlier that was just not true. I have posted 4 positions currently, including the director of Human Resources. There has not been a real certified with Sherman and the correct certifications in that position for an extremely long time. I cannot, some people even had a hard time, employees that have been here for over a decade, telling me the last human resource person who has worked in that capacity.
You know, just to add to what Elizabeth was saying, I taught insurance classes at Triton College for 14 years. And I also, I'm very familiar with IMRF, and I'm also very familiar with CERN's retirement. I practice and preach those. But one of the things that Elizabeth said, which I think is so important to us, is that we need to show that consistency. So when there is a letter that needs to go out, everybody that needs to get a letter gets the same. The numbers may change a little bit in that letter, but they do get it. Or if it's a workers' comp issue. Our goal if someone goes out on workers' comp is to bring them back. It's not to let them stay out and work the system, because that's not helping us nor them. The other part of that is handling the grievances that come up with the union. We want to be consistent with those grievances, but we don't want to give away the shot. I also do work with Illinois Department of Human Rights. They're not my best friend, but I do answer and respond to those cases and charges that I need to, as well as the EOC. I think when I was with Will County, we did go out on strike. If you've ever been part to be a little more paid with what's going on outside of the public. And you all know, your job is not easy. You as board members being here, the entire process right now. But one of the things that we do have to do is we have to be able to work together so that we can bring it back to the community. And that does come from hiring good people, which is what we have to put into place. It comes from making sure we're consistent with the forms that we have, making sure we're consistent with the process. Now, I know that a lot of municipalities that I've worked with, that I know of from being with my fellows, they always put this on the finance. HR is not part of finance, and that's the thing that we have to realize and recognize. You all have the paid leave act coming up January 1st. That's hitting us harder than anything right now, because now we are guaranteeing giving employees 40 hours or up to 40 hours. I hope that we're able to work together, and I hope that I can do as well as I've done all the other municipalities.
And I also want to add in closing that the amount of money she's requesting, first thing is that we are not paying health benefits, which is very costly in the village. And also at the amount of money she's asking, it would equate to roughly $38,000 a year. Although we are not anticipating on keeping it for a long time. Hopefully,
Hey, go also get you money, get some
yes, and to get somebody in that's qualified and able to perform the job.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions?
Currently, we don't have handbook, correct?
So we have. And I also spoke with her
About that extensively when we met the second time and had our discussion. And she told me she would work with me. I told her I started that employee manual, and she told me that she's done several, and that she's gonna work with me to get this one done.
Because we need to go down and when I asked for the job description, the title was from 7 to 2. Then I was getting, if there's something information, workshops and things, and trainings, so I asked them to
You bring up a very valid point. The state mandates that everybody, board members, everybody goes through harassment training. So I also do that with my programs that we do and put those programs together.
You sound excellent to me.
Oh, thank you. It's all right. We have this car.
Thank you so much. Any other question? One last question.
Well, we were looking at, probably, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm hoping to do this maybe 6 months. I mean, that's 6 months. And that's not 40 hours a week, that's at 20 hours, 25 hours a week. That's being here as a new employee, to get them through the interview process, to get them onboarded, to get them set up for benefits, to get the policy manual taken care of, a lot of the other forms that Elizabeth and I have talked about, and then to find you somebody that can be your HR coordinator, that can be here part-time, that can work, we've got great attorneys that can work with, that they can be there, be visible, and be able to get the assistance that Elizabeth needs to help you all get your departments where they need to be. Yes, sir.
Your role to be consultant, someone with Scott, right? You work for her.
No, I do. Absolutely. I get my direction from her, gets direction from the mayor, and the board. And be able to do that information to her. She looks at it. There are times where, like, for example, with an employee handbook, once the handbook is done, we turn it over to the attorneys, and then I pay the legal thing to it. And then we get it back, and then we can put that and roll it out. That's the same thing with any forms or anything you need to do. Right, but I would definitely do it. I know she doesn't do that, but still. Absolutely, that's what I do now, because it's how it's like work with. If I'm in the office, employee has an HR issue that wants us, then what they do is they bring it in and they make permit they units to it, and work with them before, and we go over what the issue is, and I am a big believer. I try to tell everybody, manage to the union contract.
Are you a Jets or a Giants fan?
I am a Kelsey.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
But actually, I'm a shop. I'm old school fans.
Got one last
We just, and actually, I have a cheerleader in the back of the room from Rich Township, and will we be doing evaluation, evaluation process? We did two processes. We did one, rolled out the process for employees, and then we rolled out with management. And the employee process was a one-page. We did do a self-evaluation where the employee could fill it out if they want, and then we have a manager do it. And then I also did training, but I also do the training for your managers to teach them how to do the performance appraisal. That's very important. They need to know. The other question?
Of committees and commissions. So, okay, this is cool. Trustee Butcher, is this what the special meeting was called for, to remove me or to make appointments? I wanted to remove you to make it for the entire decision on who will be selected. I have met with you several times and talked about committees, the purpose, the need, the help and support, and the advisory to the administration. And I didn't get any type of response. So because there is a need for commissions, and the residents here in the Park want to support the administration, we think that there's a need. So that's where the board, majority board, decided to have a special meeting where instead of just having them there, we don't want to select the committees, the entire board to have that option. Is that right? So the entire board can have an opportunity to select those for the committees and the commissions. You know, that's fine. I just wanted some clarity because these people never told me, so it's not like I was just kind of confused about it. No, it's never talking to people. So, and see, I'm one that really can move it forward and not letting that. That's fine. That doesn't. So we can finish up the boards. If you want to remove the mayor from making decisions and put people that's like been here and done that before, instead of bringing in new residents and new energy, that's fine and dandy, whatever the pleasure is, because at the end of the day, no matter what man wants, God discerns to find the thing. It's fine and dandy. It's fine and dandy. To me personally, I wouldn't want to be on anybody's committee if they had that later, I can put a person on there. That's fine and dandy. There's not much need for discussion. I guess we're going to discussion. And again, the mayor was not removed. No, it's just that the entire board was included. Okay, but that's fine and dandy. That's fine. Process where it has been asked several times to the mayor to have this committee applicants be a part, and there are several people several times. And the reason why I stated that is because the last appointments that you have made, none of the residents show up to meetings. And that's why we haven't been able to have. That's why we have not been able to have meetings, because a lot of the appointments that were selected were not showing up. So we want to make sure that all residents want to apply to the committee have the opportunity to do that. Oh, that's the majority board decided to make sure that they are included in the process. Also, and just for the record, when I sat here for this 4 years, I'll come to you, Joe. We're not going to be late over this thing. But I'm going to bring it up. I just want to you know, maybe lose my chain of thought.
I did charge to the head. Yeah, I said that. Oh, the reason why some of those boards and committees were actually missing, because I have actually documentation. We had so many committees and commissions, which were only advised for their nature. And, you know, the reason was because yes.
Okay, so, we have a lot of people in this village. We have a lot of activities. We have a lot of professional people. We have a lot of just everyday people with a lot of good ideas about how we don't be perceived. They have a lot of good ideas about what they want to do to the place. I personally think it's important to include people, because then they're invested in the community more than they are now. You can see by the vote. So, I also would like to include two additional committees. I would like a beautification committee, a health and wellness committee, and also I would like to change the committee, because the mayor's office of special events, no disrespect, it should go back to the human service, special event, because it's appealing to the residents, and it implies that you are doing all the things without to make sure it's right. And that's not what it is. Just like even our newsletter. The newsletter is full of everything you did. It's not full of anything you else did. And that's not fair. That's a misrepresentation to the residents. And so it's not personal. It's just that we get people involved in working with this village and get us going in another direction, better direction.
So I'm gonna just move forward, move this on. We can go push this thing.
Yeah, because you know what? See, some of these committees and commissions I failed already, and some things of that nature, but that's fine. Whatever works for the community.
Let's make it clear, none of these committees that is on this list have been.
Oh, yes, they are. The planning commission is still, there's only one vacancy on the police and fire commission. Actually, we were here when we did the last final planning commission.
And that's why we have this here. So that's what I'm saying. And a lot of the people that were on, their positions have expired. So those residents serve the community. We thank them for their time. They're more than welcome to reapply. Everybody should have an opportunity to want to be part of the community. It shouldn't be fair. It's just you stay on forever when you have people that continuously apply.
Yeah, that's what they did. And everybody's helping better than me. Nobody. I do.
I'm a trustee now, so the residents that have talked about being a part of committees and want to be a part of committees, we want to participate in our committee. They're gonna have an opportunity to do that.
I just want one last question. Anybody on this, there are people, I never denied anybody, so this, I said on this list, anybody on this list was never denied, never asked me, or never had to sit down with me. But, okay, we're gonna move on. We gotta get out the tub.
And can we have, for a person joins one of these committees, that they have some type of attendance record, because if the new ones get on board and don't show up, then we need to get dismiss that person and give that seat to somebody else. We gotta have some guidelines. People will join and then they'll go to sleep at the meeting.
See, I believe in fixing what's broken and what's working, leave it alone. So it's not working, so it's okay. It's okay. The work won't go in vain. And we got to appreciate people who do come out. As the lady just said earlier, it's so hostile. Is there new life? Is there new breath? Is there a new future? But anyway, we're moving on. Is there a motion for adjourn? So what? Oh Lord, have mercy. not even chickens.
Hold on. 1 second. Good evening, your board of trustees. Okay, I'm here today to present to you information related to working with Revise. Revise is our website company. And the reason for bringing this to the board is because it is over a certain dollar amount. There's a packet that is going around that was given to me by Revise for website upgrade and mobile app proposal. If you just, the first few pages, you can probably look at your leisure. It goes through Revise and their history and some of their customers. But mostly the business is on page 5. And on page 5, the total cost to do the website upgrade and the mobile app is $5,500. For the website itself, in the first box, what we would want to do is really work on our front page. I've had a lot of feedback related to the website being too animated, difficult to find. I can't find things. Some people have mentioned that they're not able to find things, even though I moved them to the front of the page based on each individual situation of their mayor's office, special events, the budget, the agendas. I have literally attempted to do several things to accommodate different residents and the board of trustees, but as you know, what's good for one person is not good for everyone. So the top box discusses to move changes in the navigation from the side to the top, to simplify the views with no animation, so the medallions and things that are moving around now in the previous administration was asked for and would be removed, where would be less movement. There is an example here on this document of what that would look like on this website, which is another website and number 10. There would be an addition of quick links. About in between 8 to 10, we have approximately 10 to 11 quick links right now on the top. There's the little medallions that are at the top of the website. There would be a major events section, an announcement section, and I have been looking at a lot of websites in the area about buttons. How do I find a board meeting? How do I get an animal license? How do I get a city sticker? There will be additional changes to the calendar. The styling and things like that, that's just cosmetic, of course. But the most important thing that we want to look to moving, as the mayor always says, moving forward is the addition of a mobile application. If flip to pages 6 and 7 of the packet, and the audience actually has the pictures of the mobile app. These are some examples of what an app would look like on your phone. From like the city of Morristown, as well as this community is right in our area of Village of Temple Park. Their mobile app is with Revise as well. So what will this mean for us? The mobile application will then help in both Apple and Android send push notifications to subscribers So things like water main breaks, events, during COVID, we had food things that would go out, national night out, if the fire department had something that was important to them. Or recently we had a Everbridge mistake with a police department that should have went to a different town. We could have made that correction ourselves, and that would go to the phone. One of the common problems that I have is with our seniors. The one thing that someone could say to me that would just kills me every time is they say they had no idea this was going on. So the no idea that things are going on involve me putting information on the website, which I understand everyone is not computer literate. We have a YouTube channel that we do PSAs on. We have a Facebook page that we post on. We don't do Instagram because we're not using the tools that we already have. We now use MailChimp. That's Chimp like a month. That means that you build out a subscriber page on our website. Once you have a subscriber page, it goes into the database for MailChimp, and then all flyers and stuff go out. I sent one on purpose today, so if you didn't receive it, that means you're not a subscriber to the Building University Park to get push notifications by email. I know it's late, so I'm gonna wrap it up. What's important is the seniors and the people who are not savvy as far as the computer is concerned. The village manager was presented from another company about the app. That was very expensive. It was an excellent product, outstanding product, but it was very expensive. So I actually looked at another company to do the quotes. It was also very expensive. I've never had any website experience. I'm self-taught. I taught myself how to do the website in 4 days from my living room during COVID. So my relationship with Revise is a big one because they help cultivate me as a website person. They give me training and they support me in getting the information out. So when I explained to them what these other companies were presenting, this is the offer that they gave us for $5,000 to do a front page web design, redevelopment, and the addition of a mobile app. The current cost that we pay for the website annually, current cost for the website annually is $4,150. This will be an additional $5,500 this year to do that. And then each additional year, we will pay only $1,000 annually for this tax system. That's all I have. Questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we see what the other companies were offering?
Absolutely, I have those.
I would like to know if this is like cash to as much as possible. Would this help us go with that?
Cash-free system? Well, presently, right now, we do have for paying for applications, code enforcement items, garbage. When it used to be before an after-school program, you can pay online. And we have that already in place, and it's not managed by me. The Michael Fryer's website, I'm sure that this is her, I'm not sure. But that particular site is in place, and people are able to pay online. Now, with the changes to the front navigation, can we put that more prominently in front? Yes. Yes. And with the village manager to approve, of course. No, they support me in this project every year, $4,150, and then this additional $1,000 after the $5,500. And then, of course, you know, I would need to make another presentation about the mobile app to your phone, things like that. And those boxes on the front, those examples, that say events, calendar, hospitality, business, community events, live music, weather, those are, they don't have to stick to those particular categories. Say again? The server, I believe, is with IT. I don't have no issue with it that I addressed with the server, and that was posting things over the weekend. So I did have a conversation about that. I had some glitches there. A few times actually. Yes, I would definitely address that to them and tell them that we need help with typing that up to ensure that that doesn't do that as often. Thank you.
All right. Thank you much. There a motion? All in favor? 2-minute recess to go to the pre-presenting. Get them out of here. You gonna be no recess? All right. Now call for order. No recess. Roll call. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Jean Williams, here. Trustee
Present. Stand for our pledge of allegiance.
I can volunteer for the fans.
Are there any different public comments? No different public comments. Thank you so much. New business. Item E1A, motion to approve adjust tax levy allocation. Security tax levy, the 2022 tax levy, collected 2023. Allocation additional fees as noted. Is there a motion? Moved by Dr. Second by Lewis. Roll call back to clerk.
Both sides.
Item E1B, motion to approve finance term agreement between downstairs. Item try. Is there a motion or thing? A motion? Moved by Trustee Thompson. Second by Lewis. There's a motion. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Both sides.
All right. Item E1C, motion to approve. I might make a motion to amend this, motion to expand. TIF 7. Motion to expand.
Motion to be
First motion. To amend this motion.
Everybody got that?
Okay, so make the motion to amend to, you must make a motion to expand this. First motion will be the board to approve the motion to amend this. Make a motion to expand to second.
Is there a motion for the amendment? Okay. So what I'm asking?
We're talking about the last one. The amendment.
Well, this is premature. This right there. So this, okay, so this is going to just.
Is there a motion to amend?
Yes,
What's the pleasure?
this is another purpose. You're just.
And last call. There's a motion that Trustees at the table. Is there a second?
You not, okay.
Today, that kind of changed some of the position.
It's gonna have to be expanded in order for it.
And that's why I had that comment. Because I said, that's something like that until it should be taken first. And then would be able to process it. Because at the end of the day, we see understand that, but also, Mr. Good, you know, we understand that he's gonna have to take money to build that state road. You know, it's things that we gotta make a decision on, and we want that gentleman, absolutely, it's part of the project, but Mr. Good is a whole.
That's that.
This is right, and so it makes us, right, it makes us feel unsure because we don't know.
So there's a motion on the floor. Let's get a second table. Let's have the conversation.
Or is it what?
But it's not gonna impact anything. It doesn't,
Because at the end of the day, if once that's done and the deal comes down to the road and the results come out from, good report and all that.
Because he trying to manipulate this relationship to get to us. Like, you give me this is what I need, and it makes some trustees feel right away.
Process. Redevelopment. But we're not at that stage.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So. Since it's not, it's gone. First, one second. Why don't you all just so that you're more comfortable with the questions or my suggestion? That be your question. And that you're thinking about. Next meeting. I mean, but I'm saying, but everybody's, I don't, like I said, this expanded, the motion to expand TIF 7 is going to impact it, but you all have to. Right, you know, that's what I'm telling you. This isn't, doing that motion, this is. You all have to. So if you want to come around with questions about the next board meeting, that way, you can have those answers so that there's something, you know, it's to kind of, you know, make them comfortable. Even just answer.
You want to say something else?
I wanted to add that the terms, because it's not working, the terms can be worked out. It doesn't have to be signed. It isn't related to land. And I say it because our is selling the land. I mean, basically almost giving it to them, right? And the question is, if they were to go to a different location in the community, that probably would be, some of the incentives may not apply. I just want to put that out there, but maybe I think the board should take it. That's my advice. Just
Right, but I mean, it's still, I meant this motion to expand this concept. You know, if I can do now, that's just the first step in the process. You know what I mean? So then, say, look, this is what we want, this is what we don't want. That's how you start.
So then you say, if you vote to expand TIF 7, you just start right there. You have to, 7 states, depending on the state. And so you, whatever, plan comes after. You can make it, you can do it or not do it. But this is done. People have voted to expand that.
Well, that's what I said. Right, I mean, so you know what? That's fair. You guys think it's actually only got four.
Is there a motion? Second. All in favor? All